Test 1, 2, test 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello and welcome to a Halloween edition of UNYCHL Hockey on the Nichols City Hockey Network. It's a renewal of an old Halloween tradition, an October 31st matchup between Canisius and Erie Community College. Good evening, I'm Aaron Elpern, joined by Ryan Tantello in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. And Ryan, the Cats and the Griffs, renewing an old tradition here, going back to an old favorite.
Absolutely, Aaron. And first of all, happy Halloween to you. Happy Halloween to everyone tuning in to the Nichols City Hockey Network. But like you said, Canisius and ECC used to play every year on Halloween, back when ECC and the Griffs were both in the ACHA. So since then, the Cats have moved to the AAU, and this is the first time since then that these two teams will play on October 31st.
Yeah, it's the traditional game. They used to play against what is now the top Canisius College team, or Canisius University team. That's the first one that I'll have to catch myself on today. Canisius University this year, not Canisius College. So the ECC used to always play the Canisius ACHA team. That tradition kind of went away as ECC left and went to AAU. They've gotten an opportunity to bring it back. They actually used to play every year. They used to play on Halloween at Canisius, and then they would play President's Day weekend at ECC. They were unable to get the President's Day weekend game scheduled this year, but they have this Halloween game coming back again, and really it's pretty much the only game in town tonight. Only one other AAU college hockey matchup, that is Mass Maritime and Quincy College. That was a 6 p.m. start. Iowa State and Waldorf, they're meeting over on the ACHA side of things. So if you're a fan of club hockey, certainly happy that you found our broadcast here tonight.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, two Buffalo area teams, Western New York teams. But again, if you're a fan of college hockey, you are in the right spot. So this matchup features one team that is starting to hit their stride later into the season. ECC started off 0-5, but they've won 2 games just this weekend alone. First against Fredonia on the road, a 5-4 win in overtime to get their first win of the season. Came right back the next day against the St. Bonaventure Division II UNYCHL team. Beat them 4-0.
And meanwhile, on the other side of things, Canisius has been off for 10 days, and this will only be their 3rd game of the season. However, head coach Robert Cathcart likes how his team has gelled on the ice so far this year, and he really feels that the program as a whole is on much better footing than it was in the past.
Yeah, absolutely. This Canisius AAU squad really starting to hit their stride, relaunching in a way. Coach Cathcart said his goaltenders are a big part of that stability. Over the past few years, they've had trouble filling that position, finding talent in front of the net, and now they have Charles Anzalone and Brendan D between the pipes, and Cathcart says that has made the building the rest of the roster from that point out much easier for his team.
It really is something about this level of hockey. A quality goaltender can really add a lot of stability across the roster. If that's not there, it makes everything else a little bit more of a question mark. On the other side, goaltending has been big for ECC as well, especially of late. Dominic Slopik had 30 saves in the shutout on Saturday, perhaps maybe overshadowing the effort on Friday of Jace Faso. Faso made 35 saves in the Cats' come-from-behind win against Fredonia. Number of big saves on prime scoring chances, really allowing his team to claw back in that game. They were down 3-0 at one point, 4-3 in the third period. Faso's play certainly was a big part of why his team was able to come back and win that game in overtime.
Certainly, and then on the offensive side of the puck for ECC, Connor Smith has provided a spark Friday and Saturday for them, 3 goals and 2 assists in the weekend for the forward. And I think the Cats, winning 2 games in a row after that 0-5 start, riding a lot of confidence into this, which is their 3rd game in just 5 days.
And that one might be a little bit of a factor here. If you talk about the team that's played 3 and 5 days, I should say, and then the other team that's going to be a little bit more rested, they haven't had a game in 10 days, but it is only their 3rd of the season. So there are a lot of different ways that this could go. And I think, as always, those first couple of shifts for every player will have a big key as to how the first period goes and how the game develops in general.
Yeah, absolutely. You got to see who comes out with more energy, more spark. Is one team going to be rusty? Is one team going to be tired? You just don't know. And it's so interesting. Canisius, like we've said a couple of times, their 3rd game of the season. ECC, this is their 3rd game since Friday. It's just a completely different situation in the season for these two teams. We'll see where it goes from here.
Griffs with a win over Penn State Barron College in overtime. They are 1-1 this season. Like I said, though, it's been 10 days since they played, so whether or not there's any carryover momentum, it's almost like a fresh start for this crew. Meanwhile, on the other side, see whether or not there's any sort of conditioning issue for the ECC Cats coming into this game. Playing a lot of hockey already this weekend. One game going into extra time, so already 2 different games this weekend, and be interested to see how they come out here in this one, but it should be a great matchup. Good to see this Halloween game renewed here on the Nichols City Hockey Network. Ready for the national anthem? Let's head down ice level, and we'll be ready for puck drop. Live from the Nichols School Rink, it's the Halloween game between Erie County Community College and Canisius University, set to go here from the Nichols School Rink, the newly renamed rink here at the Nichols School. It is the now known as the Byers Family Rink here on the campus of the Nichols School, the only high school in Western New York with its own on-campus rink, the home rink of the Canisius Golden Griffins. So we'll see how they defend their home ice in this Halloween game against ECC. Thank you so much for joining our broadcast here tonight. Aaron Elprin alongside Ryan Tantolo in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. About ready for puck drop here between The Cats and the Griffs starting in goal for Canisius tonight. It will be number 35, Brendan D, getting his first start of the season. Meanwhile, on the other side of things, it is number 31 in net. That is Dominic Slopik, the winning goaltender from Saturday. He had the 30-save shutout against St. Bonaventure. Underway already, and a big hit there in the neutral zone. Throwing the body on that play, Christian Mangoni. Big shoulder check into his man there right along the blue line. Canisius with the puck in the offensive zone, unable to get much set up there as Christian Mangoni starts it up the near side. Unable to get that breakout pass out of the zone. Canisius might have something here down low. Good defensive play. Joey Shea getting a stick in the way there, making sure that pass didn't get across in front as that 2-on-1 was set up in low. Ryan Matthews in the other direction with a shot from the dot. That one hits the goaltender in the mask. D making the save as he now is trying to get the referee's attention here for his helmet being loose. The strap loose on the helmet. He finally gets the referee's attention to get that fixed. Meanwhile, a little bit of a collision there on the far side wall after the whistle. Not too much spilling over from that. And as D gets his helmet all situated, we get our first stoppage in play about 45 seconds into the action.
And talk about a welcome back to play after 10 days off for D. His first save, the first shot he sees into the game, hitting him right in the mask, knocking it loose. Already a stoppage just 46 seconds into the game. This, the action came out pretty quick there in the first couple of possessions for each side.
ECC with an opportunity off the draw, shot missing high and wide. Canisius now looking to counter with speed, but 4 different ECC Cats back defensively. Good play by Matt Bajer to force a loose puck there just inside the blue line. Cats now with possession, but they can't get that pass past the skates of the linesman. And eventually Bajer gets it into the offensive zone. Chance down low. That one goes off the post. He had it behind the goaltender, tried to feed that pass in front of the net. It just grazed the post and didn't get to its intended spot. Canisius now trying to get that puck out of the zone. A couple of bodies collide on the far side. Bajer finds possession again, takes a shot, but that one gets deflected over top of the cage. And the puck comes to the near side as both teams try to find possession, but it ends up getting deflected up and out of play. And we have another stoppage, 18:31 now left to go here in this first period. No score yet between the Cats and Griffs.
And Matthew Bajer there with a really active shift, a couple of shot attempts there, hit one off the side of the post. He's got 6 points in 7 games this season. And so far for ECC, I know it's very early into this game, but fatigue does not look like it's a factor whatsoever, despite how many games they played this week. They look very sharp and active early.
Yeah, if anything, they've found the momentum that they had from their 2 games this weekend and carried it over right into the start of this one. Play along the blue line there, just barely able to keep it in the zone was Tyler Thauer. So we have an offsides call, face-off coming up along the Canisius blue line. 18:21 now remaining here in first period play.
And I think Thauer got a little bit anxious. His team had such a couple of sustained zone possessions right there. He was so close to keeping it onside, but whistle blown there. And then a error with the horn, I believe, just now. So we're going to head right back to that face-off circle.
The inadvertent horn there on the far side.
You and I have seen that before.
No real damage being done there on that, but a little bit of a false start on the draw, and they redo the face-off from that same dot. ECC with a clean win on the draw, but it ends up going all the way back into their own zone. Back to start the breakout is Kriskowski. Gains the red line and dumps it right in on goal. D had to make a shoulder save with that one. It might have handcuffed him just a little bit, but he did make the stop. Canisius finding possession along their own blue line, starting it up ice and into the offensive zone. This is Hoffmaster. 2 men on him as Hoffmaster gets driven into the far corner. Over there to help is Gavin Baumgartner, but he gets run over there in that same corner. As the puck comes to the near side, ECC trying to work it out of the zone. First attempt doesn't get out. The second one does cross the line as Alex Totten steps up to help out. And now ECC has the puck here in the offensive zone. Drop pass and now possession below the goal line. This is Lewis Miller trying to set something up. Back to the point to Shea and now back to Miller on the half wall. Miller's pass comes towards the front but goes off a Canisius stick right back to him. Shot attempt though gets deflected wide and Fatzinger tries to start the breakout in the near corner. Puck behind the net as Mason Clark with a little bit of difficulty handling it there. Still battling on that play as 2 different ECC players also try to come up with possession. Eventually they get that puck up ice as Canisius clears the zone. This one currently going to go for icing. Waved off late there. Referee and linesman consulting there late before that one was waved off. Canisius trying to execute a change as ECC tries to get it quickly into the offensive zone. Goaltender D throwing the catching hand up and grabbing onto that one before the dump-in could be successful. So we get a stoppage on that freeze essentially, and faceoff will come up to D's right. little bit more than 3 minutes gone here in the first.
And in the early going of this game, Canisius is spending a lot of time in their defensive zone, having a bit of trouble with moving the puck around and getting it out. You see it there again, ECC keeping the puck into the offensive zone.
At least so far, just the couple of trips into the offensive zone for the Griffs have been short and one-and-done sort of opportunities, unable to really get a whole lot sustained so far. Still only about 3.5 minutes into the action at this point, as Canisius trying to work the breakout on the far side. Pass misses its target, kept in by Mangoni. His shot gets deflected and kind of flutters towards the netminder. D with a really good read on that one, made sure he made the catch and held on for another stoppage. Both teams now making some changes.
Yeah, and you've seen that play from ECC a couple of times, moving it side to side, behind the net, out to the point, and then even when Canisius is able to win a battle along the boards, they're having a really hard time moving it up along the side, out of their zone. ECC doing a great job with possession and putting a lot of shots on D. Maybe not high-quality chances as of yet, but just a high volume.
Canisius finally breaks the zone. Now stuck in the neutral zone here, but they connect on a cross-ice pass and dump it in here on the near side. Getting that dump in was Connor Kolesny, the former NCCC Thunderwolf. Shot from the point, misses the net wide. Now ECC might have a chance to get some speed through the neutral zone. Quickly on that one to make sure that play didn't develop in the neutral zone was the defenseman Luke Ingham. Canisius unable to hold the zone, but Ingham has it again in the neutral zone, changing defensive partner, and that almost creates an opportunity for ECC as we have a battle for the puck in front of the Canisius bench. Cats get it into the offensive zone. It comes slowly to Brendan D, and he has a decision to make with a couple different Cats coming closely. Eventually he covers that one up, and we get another stoppage. 15:39 now remaining in the first.
And it doesn't surprise me at all that D is probably going to cover that puck up like most of the pucks he's seen so far and will continue to see, because ECC has been so active, forcing turnovers, getting in the passing lanes. It's really probably not a smart idea to keep a puck in play like that when you have so many players from the opponent charging in on you.
This might be one of those opportunities to slow the game down a little bit as his team gains its footing. ECC has had the much quicker start here in this game so far, but as games go, there is an ebb and flow to every contest, and if the goaltender can make the saves and slow the game down here in the early going to allow his team to get their legs under them, that might be just what the Griffs need.
Absolutely. It could be a question of just holding off this early ECC rush until they get tired, because we talked about so many times already the difference in the amount of games these teams have played. One team might get more comfortable and the other might get tired out. It's just so early to see in this game.
Canisius clears the zone, but Bajer brings it right back in for the Cats. Some pressure along the blue line, and he drops a pass off. Circling the net, now looking for an option is Eric Duma. We have a penalty coming up here as the referee on the far side signals the tripping call. So we get our first opportunity on the power play, and it's going to be for the ECC Cats. Heading to the penalty box will be number 29, Nick Woods. 2 minutes for tripping.
And for ECC, I think drawing that penalty is directly attributable to the style of play that they brought into the first 5 minutes of this game. Not giving anything easy to Canisius, not letting them break out, forcing turnovers, and, they're being so active and kind of almost badgering this Canisius team when they have the puck that I think that penalty was a long time coming so far in the first 5 minutes.
One of those situations where you have that long sustained offensive zone time, and one of two things is usually going to happen in that scenario. Either it's going to be a penalty or a goal. In this case, it's a penalty, and now ECC looks for that marker on the power play. Have things set up here in their formation as they work it around the perimeter. Down low and looking to start something and get something set up there was Connor Mangoni. Pass doesn't connect. Canisius gets the clear. Joey Shea heading back for it with 1:28 to go on the power play.
And on that first possession for ECC before the clear by Canisius, really great puck movement. I think all 5 skaters on that first power play shift touched the puck there, and unable to get a shot on net, but here they come again.
Into the offensive zone and cutting it towards the slot, looking for a shot there. That was number 10, Connor Smith. Big star in this weekend's 2 wins. He had the tying goal against Fredonia, also 2 goals in the win against St. Bonaventure. Shot coming in from the point, handled by the pad of D, but the power play keeps it going here in the offensive zone. Thauer comes in from his point position to keep things moving, getting it to Matthews on the far side. He sidesteps 2 different penalty killers to let a shot go, but a good quick stick there by the Griffs defender, getting enough on that one to deflect it up and out of play. So with 49 seconds now remaining on this power play, get a faceoff coming up to the left of D. 13:40 now remaining in the period.
And you mentioned number 10, Connor Smith. He's going to stay out there on the ice alongside Matthew Bajer, the two top scorers for this ECC team, both with 6 points, and Smith with 5 of those points just coming this weekend.
Smith with an opportunity to let a shot go from there on the far dot. Got a lot on it, but I don't think it got through the crowd in front of the net. Bajer now with possession as he carries it into the circle. Cross-ice pass as he was trying to set up Andrew Baker on the far side. Looked like it might have hit a skate before it could get to Baker. Bajer has possession on the far side again, a man right on him, but he gets it back to the point. And now over to the near side where Baker has a lane to let a shot go. Into the breadbasket of the goaltender, the puck pops loose. It's put into the back of the net, but the referee had blown it dead already. Referee over there to the right of the net was clearly unable to see that puck dropping loose on the far side of the netminder. The ECC players were right there on the doorstep to pound it home, but the referee had already blown that play dead.
Yeah, the official was kind of behind D, so when he brought that puck into his chest, it looked like he had full control. Couldn't see that it came loose, and a break for Canisius, who's really been hounded so far on this power play.
15 seconds still to go on this ECC power play as Canisius gets a clear. And that should do it for just about the most of the power play. They might actually get something set up here, killing it shorthanded. Down low to create a little bit of difficulty is Jackson Grant. He gets knocked down on the play, and as the penalty is expiring, ECC with some numbers through the neutral zone. Baker cuts towards the slot, just couldn't keep control to let that shot go. He had a lot of speed, though, and he had some space to get that shot away. Team's back to 5-on-5 as Canisius starts to work the breakout on the far side. That first pass doesn't connect. Second opportunity to skate it out now is Ronan Hoffmaster with a head of steam. Hoffmaster with a move, but he can't keep it, but it goes to a teammate. Lets that hard shot go. That was Jackson Grant, who was the recipient of a good bounce. Let a good shot go, and he beat the goaltender, but he couldn't beat the crossbar. Connor Smith back in the other direction, letting a quick snapshot go as he tried to use the defenseman for a screen. Successfully doing so and letting a good hard shot in on D. Glove save made, and it ends up being deflected up and out of play. ECC continuing to come in waves here. They had a lot of good pressure on the power play, and now they're looking to just add to it here. We're back to 5-on-5.
Yeah, I'm really loving the action and the pace of play that we've seen in the first half of this first period. You know, Canisius starting to find their legs a little bit. Their best shot of the game just now, and then ECC coming right back the other way, continuing their high offensive pressure.
Griff's in transition now into the offensive zone. Dylan Kazmarski, backhand pass towards the slot. Doesn't connect, but it comes back to the point. Picked up there by Mason Clark. Clark feeds it back down low. Koluzny has it behind the net. Looking for a passing option. Feeds it towards the front of the net. Kazmarski unable to handle that one. Back to the point. Kept in by Clark. ECC finding possession, and Kruskowski carries it through the neutral zone. Shot from distance, good save by D, perfectly angling that one up and out of play. You can see that the first handful of saves that Brendan D has had to make here in this game kind of giving him a little bit of confidence, and as he's getting his first start of the year, get that first couple of touches of the puck, certainly you can build that confidence with every save you make.
Absolutely, and that was something that we talked about from the Canisius bench, you know, something that their team is focusing on, getting these young goaltenders confidence and building the rest of the team out from there, and D has played great so far. He's seen a ton of shots.
Could be setting up to have a goaltending battle here, as we talked about in the pregame show, how goaltending has been a good part of not only the success of the teams recently, but just a foundational piece for building a program in general.
Yeah, definitely. You mentioned that it's been an area of focus for these two teams, you know, throughout the last couple of years, trying to add that element to their team. And, you know, it makes such a big difference in recruiting if you start from the goalie and go from there.
Yeah, if the whole team knows that there's not a question mark in net, that gives everybody else that extra bit of confidence in what they're doing. They don't have to necessarily cheat towards the defensive end because you know you have a goaltender that's going to make the stop when you need him to. So far, D has done exactly that. Over there on the other side, Slopik hasn't been tested nearly as much, but I'm sure that Canisius will ramp that up as game continues. ECC again setting up here in the offensive zone. That's Baker on the far side letting a shot go. Like there was a bit of a screen in front of the net. Not a hard shot, but D certainly had to be on his mark to make the stop. Baker now forcing a turnover and circling the net as he tries to again set up some offense. Unable to do a whole lot with that push in the offensive zone, and now Woods and Yanks come back in the other direction. Yanks with a shot from the mid-slot. Slopik got a piece of it, but not enough, and it gets by him. It's 1-0 Canisius as they use a transition play to get on the board.
Yeah, it looks like Slopik got his blocker on that one, and it kind of just bounced right over it, you know, almost frozen in place a little bit after the initial save, and he's only seen really 1 or 2 hard shots in this first period so far. And, compared to D, who's seen 10 times that, it's just, the 2 goaltenders are in different places, and Slopik just maybe not ready for that one.
Yeah, sometimes when you have a stretch of hockey go by at the start of a game where the goaltender doesn't have a lot of activity, isn't faced with a lot of shots, once you get to that first opportunity, then maybe there's a touch of doubt that's in the mind, or just not necessarily as sharp as he would have wanted to be in that case. Canisius, though, takes advantage. They get the first goal of the game. They're on the board. And let's see what the next shift will have in the offing, because the first shift after a goal, we see what sort of response there is. And ECC quickly with that opportunity almost tied the game up seconds after that goal, as still looking for that equalizer, as we have a penalty called behind the play. Turnaround shot by Duma was fanned on, and then a player was drilled behind the net. Looks like we're going to have a penalty that's called against ECC on this play. I didn't get a good look at that, as there's a player still down.
Yeah, Canisius players still down behind their net, trainer heading out onto the ice. But, before that injury and what will be a penalty against number 21, Mangoni, ECC really came right out after that face-off, going right back onto the attack, nearly tied the game up, like you said, seconds after falling behind. But it's crazy how the momentum can shift just like that. A few seconds ago, it was in Canisius' favor. ECC came out firing from the face-off, then taking a penalty, swinging things back towards Canisius. They're going to head to a power play, already up by 1. That goal we saw a few moments ago, but of course still also tending to the injured Griffin down on the ice. A couple of his teammates finally sitting up off of the ice. Trainer assisting him, a couple of teammates over there. And he will head off of the ice.
Trying to get an idea with the number on the jersey there is difficult to tell here. It looks like 14. That wouldn't be right.
Definitely a 4.
We'll get that sorted here in the next few moments to get an idea of how everything's going there. But he does seem to be at least standing on the bench, and as Stephen LePage, good to see him back on the bench, and seems to be okay, at least in general. We'll see whether or not he's able to return a key part of the Canisius blue line. So we now have to wait and see what this call is going to be, as Mangoni is being shown the exit, it seems.
Mm-hmm. I was waiting for that, because it seemed like that penalty was severe enough as far as the punishment it inflicted onto the opponent that perhaps it was going to be more than just a standard minor.
Yeah, it looked, caught a glimpse of it on the replay. It looked like it was a hit from behind the net. Unable to really get a good view of whether or not he turned into it, or whether or not it was something with that looked malicious. Either way, it looks like clearly a 5-minute major has been assessed to number 21, Connor Mangoni. So it's a big loss for ECC on the offensive end of things, and it's a big deal because now they have to kill off a 5-minute penalty just about a minute after giving up the game's first goal.
Yeah, for Canisius, obviously, besides losing one of your players in your lineup, this is a golden opportunity, no pun intended, for them to expand their lead.
First opportunity almost there, started on this power play, almost belonged to Matt Bajer as he looked to go up ice shorthanded. Good defensive play to keep him from getting it into the offensive zone and creating something. Bajer, though, still putting a little bit of pressure on here in the offensive zone. 4:40 now to go in the power play. Canisius gains the blue line. Let's see if they can get it set up. They'd actually just take that shot from distance. Kolesny figures he'll go ahead and test Slopik as much as he can now. Shoulder save was made, but I wouldn't say that was a very confident one quite yet.
Not at all.
Cross ice pass, and now an opportunity in tight. That was a confident save from Slopik, as finally he seems to be getting his legs under him. Luke Ingham in tight, looking to get that shot past him. Good stop made on that play, as still 40 seconds, only 40 seconds gone here on this Canisius power play. This next 4 minutes and change of this game is going to be pretty important, because Canisius is going to be able to use this power play as a chance to get their legs under them, something they had a little bit of trouble doing in the early going.
Yeah, exactly. Still early in the season, you're trying to figure out your power play unit. What better way than to head to the man advantage for an extended period of time, in this case, 5 minutes, already with the lead. This is about as good of a situation as you can be in for a team still trying, like you said, to get some confidence and some legs under them.
Canisius unable to get it set up there after the offensive zone draw. It was Connor Smith with the clear. And now ECC looking to start the breakout again, but that pass is fanned on. Player gets knocked down, no call on. Actually, it's a call from the back official 150 feet away calling the tripping call, even though the front official about 20 feet away wasn't going to make the call.
And
it's the right call.
I agree. Right.
It was definitely a trip. It created an advantage for ECC, and now it becomes a two-man power play advantage here for Canisius. This is even bigger opportunity than already was there.
Right, and for ECC, they're continuing to take away any momentum they had in the first 10 minutes of this game. You allow the goal, that's one thing, but now starting to take penalties, this is not looking good for them.
Penalties in the offensive zone, too, both of them near the opponent's net. Certainly the type of penalties that will frustrate coaches.
And you're already down a man.
So now a two-man advantage for an extended period of time. Let's see what the Canisius power play can do with this, and they let a hard shot go from the far side. August Criffalo, hard snapshot over the shoulder of the netminder. It's 2-0 Griffs.
And I think it was only a matter of time. Canisius was riding momentum. Take the penalty. They take another penalty, ECC does. And the Griffs, all of a sudden, they feel like they're unstoppable. They're early in their season. They don't know what they're capable of yet. And this power play, which is still not even close to over, is going to just continue to build on that for them. They got to be feeling good right now.
Yeah, just 20 seconds into the two-man advantage, they get the goal from August Criffalo. And now we have a 2-0 lead in favor of Canisius. Didn't even have time to say who the penalty was against. It was number 6, Andrew Baker. 2 minutes for tripping on that play. Still 3.5 minutes to go on the major penalty to ECC. This is still a huge opportunity for the Griffs to really build a lead here in this game, a game that they were struggling to find their footing on early. Another opportunity on the power play as that was Dylan Kazmarski cutting through the defense, letting a shot go from in tight. Good save made on that play by Slopik, just kind of stopping the bleeding at this point as it went very quickly from a game that looked like it was ECC setting the pace, and now it's ECC maybe on their heels a little bit.
Yeah, I think a turning point so far in this game was when Canisius killed off that first ECC power play. Since that point, they've scored an even strength goal, Canisius has, and now on the power play scoring one with time to score another.
3 minutes to go on the power play as Cats get a clear. Looking to start the breakout, Mason Clark. Pass into the neutral zone, goes off of the stick of Braden Yangst, and then ECC gets another clear. 2 minutes and 50 seconds remaining on the major. Clark again on the breakout. Pass from the far side to the near side. This is going to be Mailing. Mailing with a backhand pass back to Clark, and finally in over the blue line, but they can't get it deep. ECC with another chance to clear. They might get a 2-on-1 out of it. Oh, just not quite quick enough to that puck. Cody Yeager could have sprung a teammate on a breakaway there.
Yeah, Matthews was breaking out through that neutral ice with no one in front of him. Couldn't get the pass through.
Both the forwards there at the end of their shift. Maybe that had something to do with the inability to get to that loose puck from Yeager. Still looking for that clear attempt on the far side. Good 2-on-1 battle there. ECC outnumbering the power play side, getting the clear, getting it down to almost 2 minutes to go on this penalty. Pass goes off a skate. Canisius still struggling to get that breakout going on the power play. Finally settling it down and skating it up the far side is Luke Ingham. Drop pass doesn't get to its intended target, eventually gets there. And now the shot coming in from the point. Slopik never saw that one. He was looking down along the ice for that shot, ended up missing the net high. Good move by Woods to create a little bit of space, but Joey Shea steps into that passing lane to send it the length of the ice. Slowly rolling to Brendan D, and he covers that one up. Now 1:34 to go on the penalty kill, as at least ECC has killed off the 5-on-4 portion of this pretty well. It was the 5-on-3 part that was difficult for them.
Which it's difficult for anyone, and since that point, ECC has looked a little bit better, broken the pressure a couple of times against these Griffs. If they can get out of this down just 2-0 with some time in the first, they should feel okay about where they're at.
Our broadcast today brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Another clear for the Cats, 1:15 now remaining on the major. Back into his own zone. Again, it's going to be Ingham, but that pass doesn't succeed, and they have to go back below their own goal line with Bajer putting some pressure on down low. Bajer creates a loose puck and now hunts it down himself. Takes a shot from distance. That one misses the net wide, but the first one to it there is Eric Duma. 2 Griffs on him, but Duma still battling there for that loose puck. Very effective kill of the penalty here as a hand pass is signaled. So we have a stoppage here and another faceoff coming up in the Griff zone. Because of the hand pass, they're going to be unable to make a change as both referees skate over to the Griffs bench to make sure the coaching staff and players realize that they're unable to make that swap of personnel.
And that's great news for this ECC penalty kill. They can get, their guys freshened up to continue putting pressure on the opposite side of the ice from their net and, kind of getting back to what was working for them early, really forechecking, forcing turnovers. Again, just trying to get out of this penalty, keep the score where it's at, and then go from there.
Kolesny slowing it down as he heads back into the near corner. Pass goes to the far side. Woods has to collect it off the wall, and then he gives it back to Kolesny. Kasmarski gets run over there along the blue line as 2 different players standing in the same spot. That causes the breakout to go nowhere, and it ends up creating a turnover for ECC. Connor Smith gets hauled down in the process, and so the last 30 seconds of the Canisius power play go by the wayside as they take a penalty of their own. It's actually Nick Woods heading back to the penalty box. He had the previous penalty against Canisius, and now he is back in the box for another 2 minutes.
Yeah, and Connor Smith doing a nice job, and really before that along the blue line, forcing the turnover there. Canisius continuing to struggle breaking it out, and again, that indirectly led to that penalty, which is a nice chance for ECC. It'll be 4-on-4 for a little bit.
30 seconds of 4-on-4, and then it will be an ECC power play as the Griffs get it into the offensive zone. They might have something in their tight, good defense, though, as cutting that play off was Grady O'Hara. Puck comes out towards the front of the net, picked up by Andrew Baker. 14 seconds remaining in 4-on-4 as Connor Smith lets another hard shot go. That one had a lot on it, but it wasn't quite low enough to get on the netminder. Baker finding a loose puck in the neutral zone, can't maintain possession as he crosses the blue line. Recycles it, heads back into the neutral zone as O'Hara gets it up to Smith, who takes a pretty hard jolt there at the blue line. Puck up ice to LaRoque. Unable to handle that pass, and now ECC with possession again. That pass is off the mark, and it's into the offensive zone, but no icing on this play. Icing waved off. Mangoni can't keep it in, and now Canisius is going to get a chance to clear it. This is Patrick LaRoque. LaRoque shot from distance, not a whole lot on that one. Slopik making the save and covering up. And we have exactly 5 minutes to go in the first period, 1:04 remaining on the ECC power play.
I have to say I'm loving this pace that we're seeing here in this first period. We've seen a couple of penalties per side, and if anything, that's increasing the pace here. I love the energy. ECC did not slow down at all despite their 2 wins already. I think they're looking for 3.
Puck behind the net as ECC finds possession. Andrew Baker starting the power play breakout. Pass up the far side on the stick of Bajer, and he gets it into the offensive zone. Bajer circles the net, takes a bit of a stick check, and now has it in the corner with 2 different Griffs on him, gets it back to the point. Mangoni with it here, sidesteps 1 defender, now looking for that pass down low. Really good defense, though, as creating a lot of havoc there was Ronan Hoffmaster. Thought that they got the clear, but they don't get the call as the shot comes in from Smith and a pad save made by D. Yeah, the whole Canisius bench was calling for that offsides call as it was right along the blue line. Referee not seeing it the same way as the bench did, and the ECC power play continues with 18 seconds to go in the man advantage. Good play by Hoffmaster again to intercept that pass, and now maybe something here shorthanded. Pass in front to Grant, good save by Slopik as Jackson Grant with a point-blank opportunity looking for that shorthanded goal. That would have made it 3-0 and 1 goal each way if that one would have gone in.
That would have been devastating, but what a beautiful pass by Hoffmaster, kind of wrapping it around the defender, leading to that 1-on-0 with the goalie, but another great save. And, starting to find his groove a little bit is Slopik, and we're back to even strength there. That was pretty quick power play. It was only the 90 seconds of the man advantage for the Cats there, and the score stays the same.
This broadcast brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency. The Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. Battaglia Marciano providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Griff's looking to set up here in the offensive zone as Thurnher makes that pass back to the point, ends up going through the skates of Mason Klar, and now he's got to go back into his own zone with some pressure on. Comes up the far wall. ECC finding possession. Joey Shea quickly up ice. Good stick there. Daniel Thurnher getting that stick in the passing lane, keeping the ECC breakout from really successfully moving through the neutral zone. Puck in the Griff zone as we have 3:20 to go in the period. Clearing attempt doesn't come out as Dower keeps it in. Unable to keep it in for very long as now Baumgartner carries it up the far side. Takes a jolt there before he gets to the blue line. Now a battle for possession along the blue line. Eventually comes into the ECC zone, but they move it up ice quickly, and this is Joey Shea cutting through the middle of the ice. Shea on his backhand, stops in the far circle, now back to the point. Good defensive pressure there by the Griffs. They could get a break opportunity out of it as LaRoque into the offensive zone. Didn't get as much on that shot as I think he was looking for. Fairly routine save made by Slopik, and he holds on for a whistle with 2:47 now remaining in the first.
And I don't mind that decision to shoot. It wasn't the best. He didn't have the most on it, but, again, Slopik has not necessarily looked extremely steady. He's made some good saves, but nothing wrong with forcing a goalie to work early and often.
Keep on throwing pucks at him, make sure he knows that he's confident in what he's doing, and again, they do it right there off the faceoff. Shot missing high and wide before it comes into the neutral zone. Ingham banks it off the near boards. Canisius with the puck in the middle of the ice. A little bit of speed here for August Trillflow. Shot then comes in from distance. Glove save made as Kolesny let that one go. Another stop made by Slopik, and maybe gaining just a little bit more confidence with every puck that he touches.
Oh, of course. I mean, it makes perfect sense that, this is only the third game that Slopik has started this season, so, hasn't seen a lot of pucks whatsoever.
Oh, what a setup in front of the net there. It comes from the corner, right out in front. Kazmarski setting up Trillflow, and a beautiful finish. It's now 3-0 Griffs on a great play from below the goal line in front of the net. Trillflow wide open in front, and he buries it past the netminder. Great setup there for the Griffs.
Right, that pass was something else to the exact right spot, and the shot off clean. Not a ton Slopik could do there. Great setup. Came so quickly after that draw. Just ECC couldn't react.
August Trillflow, 2 goals already, and it's a 3-0 Canisius lead. A game that at least started looking like it was going to be a first period that belonged to the ECC Cats. The major penalty was the first issue against them, and they've been kind of struggling to get their footing since then, or at least it's giving Canisius the life that they need to put up 3 goals on the scoreboard.
I totally agree. I don't think ECC has changed how they're playing very much. I think Canisius just got off to a bit of a slow start, some sloppy passing, some turnovers. Once they got that power play, got that goal across, from that point on, I think they really just became, the team that they know that they can be.
A little bit of an on-ice debate there about location of the faceoff. Eventually they move it into the Canisius zone. ECC winning the faceoff and now getting set up. Jaeger shot from distance, a rebound there in front of the net. Knocked in out of midair. It's now 3-1. What a goal there. That was a very acrobatic and talented play. Eric Duma, basically with the baseball swing from about chest high, knocks that one past the netminder. The goal is ruled a good goal as the referee right there on the spot to determine the shot was taken from below the crossbar. So it's 3-1 ECC, and both of the goals in the last minute or so have been highlight reel quality goals.
Absolutely. I mean, talk about hand-eye coordination, the ability to do that, to knock the puck out of air, with bodies around you. Absolutely just gorgeous goal, very impressive, and, that's going to be a spark for ECC moving forward to the first intermission.
It's another example of taking a shot from anywhere. In this case, it was the shot from Jaeger on the near boards. A really difficult angle to let one go, but it ended up right in the right spot, apparently. I wouldn't necessarily look to have one teed up like that for a baseball swing, but whatever works, it counts. It's on the board. It's a 3-1 hockey game. And not only that, Jaeger and Duma looking to put that pressure on down low again. Pass comes out to Duma as Bajer was trying to find the goal scorer for his second. Shot then comes in from the point. Cade Hayes letting a good hard wrist shot go. Pad save is made by the netminder D, who's getting tested again like he was early in the period. Puck comes towards the front of the net. D making a good play with the stick to keep that one from getting to Jaeger. Puck comes back towards the point. Good play to keep it in by O'Hara. Player gets knocked down as a battle for the loose puck there in the far circle. Eventually the players become disengaged as Canisius gets it into the offensive zone. This is Woods with it. Woods looking for a passing option, tried to get it to Yangst on the far side, ends up going through his skates, and now Hayes floats it into the neutral zone. Minute 10 to go in the period as Bajer gets it into the offensive end. 3 different Griffs on him, and that's exactly what it was going to take to get it away from him. Bajer was stick handling in that phone booth and had enough room. It was just that third player that managed to come over and take it away from him.
Yeah, he almost got through those 3 defenders, but finally able to take the puck. But ECC's definitely got a little bit of a different life here in the last couple of minutes.
Shea into the offensive zone as ECC tries to get that second goal on the board before the end of the period. Good defensive play to keep Shea's drive into the offensive zone from really getting anything materialized. Back in the other direction come the Griffs as the dump in from distance by Camden Abel goes wide. 30 seconds to go in the period as the Griffs looking to regroup just inside their blue line. Pass ends up going too far for anybody there in the neutral zone, so that one's going to go for icing. And ECC is going to get another opportunity with an offensive zone draw here with 23 seconds to go in the period. Supporters today include Pups Styled by Jesse, one-on-one grooming services that will have your dog looking forward to its next visit. Voted Best of 716 Pet Groomer for 2022 and 2023. Pups Styled by Jesse on Main Street in Clarence, just east of Transit Road. Canisius finding possession off that defensive zone draw. Baumgartner getting it up ice quickly. Good play by Shea to keep that zone entry from coming together. Kriskowski in the other direction. He gets driven into the near boards as Hoffmaster picks up the loose puck. Under 7 seconds to go in the period. Canisius trying to keep that puck out of the perimeter against the wall. ECC looking for maybe one last push. Doesn't appear that they're going to do too much with that as we have a little bit of pushing and shoving at the horn. As just a little bit of pleasantries being exchanged there at the last few moments of the period. Nothing coming out of that. Certainly wouldn't expect any penalties as both teams head back to their locker rooms for the first intermission. But a very entertaining first period, I would certainly say. Kind of wild swings in both directions right from the beginning of it. And we have a 3-1 hockey game after 20 minutes.
Yeah, there's no doubt that these two teams were excited to renew this Halloween matchup, this Halloween rivalry here in Buffalo at the Nichols School. I think it's only better for us and for every club hockey fan in the United States. This is one of a very few number of games tonight. The energy's been high, the action has been exciting, and I think that game just got better as it went on throughout that first period. Highlight reel goals, nice saves, defensive plays, it had everything.
Yeah, you talk about ECC trailing in this one 3-1, but I don't think they would think they had a bad period other than the goals that ended up going in. I feel like they would at least be saying in the locker room, we were the better period in that period, in that frame, with the exception of that major penalty. The major was the one that ends up giving Canisius the boost that they needed. They had already gotten one on the board with their first shot on goal, and then they score again with the 5-on-3 power play that provided that boost through the rest of the period. Big late goal there from the Cats to draw within 2, though.
Yeah, that late goal from ECC definitely changes the complexion of this game, because if you look at what Canisius did, it was a even strength goal, it was a power play goal, a 5-on-3 goal, and then their third goal was just beautiful. Not much you can do about that. So outside of those couple of plays, not to discount what Canisius did, but I think ECC knows, hey, we can clean up a couple of things. Our game plan was working for most of the entire period when we were even strength. There's, just keep moving that forward, clean up the mistakes, and I think we're going to have a very close game moving through the second and third period.
Yeah, I would certainly think that ECC doesn't want to change anything that they did in the first period, just have things go a little better for them on the scoreboard. Meanwhile, Canisius is going to look to be that same opportunistic team that they were here in period 1. We're going to step away here for the first intermission as both teams are heading back to the locker room to discuss things, reassess their plans for period number 2. We're going to step away with them. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for period number 2. You're watching live coverage of AAU college hockey on the Nickel City Hockey Network, Western New York's new home for amateur hockey.
Modern media is everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing. Broadcast to social, print to digital, 412 Communications has the solution to get you heard. Want to know more? Visit 412communications.com today.
to the Nichols School Rink as we bring you live coverage of AAU college hockey here on the Nichols City Hockey Network. About ready for second period play between ECC and Canisius, the traditional Halloween game coming back here in 2023. After 20 minutes of play, it is a 3-1 lead in favor of the Canisius Golden Griffins. Hello, I'm Aaron Elprin alongside Ryan Tantullo in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. And Ryan, a very entertaining first period of play. It looked like ECC was the faster team to start things, but it was Canisius getting the first goal. In fact, they got the first 3 goals in the first period, enjoying the 3-0 lead before ECC was able to get one late in the frame to make it 3-1. I don't think either team would necessarily be upset with how the first period was played. A lot of positives to take into the second period from both sides.
Yes, certainly. I think ECC came out and played the stronger overall period, but Canisius capitalized on more of the opportunities that they got, including penalties and just some great offensive setups. At the same time, ECC able to score late in that first period and really take back a lot of the momentum, and 2 goals is far from a safe lead for the Griffs.
Underway here in second period play, one of only 3 games in the entire club hockey world here tonight on Halloween. Certainly happy if you found some time to join our broadcast here this evening. Puck underway, or play underway here in the second period as Canisius has it in the offensive zone, looking to add to their lead. August Trifolo lets that pass off, and the shot comes from distance. Save made by Slopik. He had a little bit of difficulty there in the early part of the period, but seemed to gain a little bit more confidence as the frame went on. ECC looking to counter quickly into the other direction. Pass comes in front. Opportunity from the doorstep. The puck ends up being put home after the net's knocked off the moorings. I don't think the goal's going to count, as Matthews was the one who ended up putting it past the netminder. Baker gets knocked down in the play, and I think that's going to draw a penalty against Canisius. So it's going to be August Trifolo heading to the penalty box for a charging call. So Trifolo twice already on the score sheet, 2 goals in the first period. He's now got a penalty here early in second period play, so ECC heading to the power play. And
ECC continuing, I think, to have the advantage in speed, something that they showed in that first period. And just now, Connor Smith, who's been all over the ice for the Cats, he really catalyzed that play by getting to the puck first, throwing it in front, creating that scrum. Scoring opportunity didn't capitalize on, but resulted in a penalty against Canisius.
Christian Mangoni unable to keep that puck in at the blue line. It might create something for Canisius in transition. Pass a little bit behind its intended target. Still, the Griffs are going to get a chance to kill off some of this penalty. First 15 seconds gone, as it's going to be Christian Mangoni looking to start the breakout with a pass up to Matt Bajer. Bajer's pass hits a skate, and Mangoni will have to retreat into his own zone. Pass behind the net, trying to get it back to Bajer in the power play, at least for the first 30 seconds, rather slowly moving forward. Finally, Bajer with a head of steam into the offensive zone. Stops at the dot on the near side and feeds it back to the point. Baker unable to handle that one, though, and he now has to go back into his own zone, as this ECC power play certainly not moving with as much efficiency as some of the ones we saw in the first period did. Baker with some pressure on him, but still keeps possession, at least for a moment. Good play on that back pressure to create a loose puck. That was Camden Abel doing some good work there in the penalty kill. And the first minute of this Canisius penalty is now gone, as still some difficulty here in the defensive zone for ECC to get that breakout going. Shea gets knocked down, but keeps control of the puck and now carries it through the neutral zone. Smith barely staying on side. Smith has control of it in the slot now, gets it away from 2 different Griffs, lets the shot go, and a shoulder save made by D. Looks like D's starting to get the book on Connor Smith. Whenever he has that opportunity to let a shot go, he unloads that snapshot and gets a lot on it like he did just there. Smith with a nice move to get free, now cuts it towards the slot and misses barely with that backhand shot. Connor Smith very active here to force the power play, drawing that penalty, and then very active in the first minute and a half of the power play. He heads to the bench now for a change, as a fresh unit comes on for the last 19 seconds of the man advantage.
It took a bit of minute and a half or so to get that power play really going until they got their first shot. Of course, it was Smith who has really stood out to me in red tonight. Their leading scorer, who's had a fantastic weekend, and still 20 seconds to get something going. We'll see if that second power play unit can set something up.
Scramble faceoff comes to the near corner. 2 different Cats over there to come up with possession. They do manage to find possession, but it gets spun behind the net. Over there to pick it up and take a hit was Tyler Thauer. Pass along the blue line, kept in by Shea. Backhand pass down low, and now Matthews along the goal line. 2 different plays from a tight angle. 2 good saves made on the play by D as the penalty expires. Canisius now looking to get the puck up ice and create some offense for themselves. Patrick LaRoque with the puck on his stick there. Gets it into center ice, but Ryan Matthews with a good play there right along the center ice red line, creating the loose puck and getting it back to his teammates to get it into the offensive end. Puck into the near corner as Fatzinger looks to break it out. Can't get it past his defensive counterpart Shea as he gets it back down low. Pass out in front to Yeager. That one just a little bit off the mark. Yeager in a good spot there. Would have been a high danger chance if he would have gotten an opportunity to let a shot go. 3 minutes and change gone here in second period play. ECC has already had a power play here in this period. And now they have control of the puck, looking for a long stretch pass up the far side. Bit of a miscommunication though. Shea looking for the pass towards the far boards. Meanwhile, it was O'Hara cutting towards the middle of the ice. That one will go for an icing call and a face-off back in the ECC zone.
Little bit of a disjointed start, I think, for ECC coming into this period. That power play really never got going. A couple of chances near the end, and in the last minute or so at even strength, just not quite as sharp as they looked in that first period. I know it's early. That ice is still a little wet and everything, so, Canisius, on the other hand, trying to set their offense up really for the first time in this period.
Win a face-off. Let's see what they can do here as Hoffmaster had some harassment on him, but still let a pretty good low shot go. Slopik making the pad save. ECC clears the zone, but the Griffs send it right back in. Thauer now behind his net as he looks for a long pass into the neutral zone with his team changing. Does manage to get that one nice to Nguyen. Nguyen gets it across the blue line, but the Griffs send it right back through the neutral zone where Shea looks to pick it up. Shea to Yeager, that pass off a skate, and now the Griffs look to create something in the neutral zone. Getting it across the blue line was Grant, but he can't keep possession. And now Shea stops behind his net, looking for a pass to start the breakout for the Cats. Shea up the near wall, too far for its intended target as his defensive partner was looking for that pass, Cade Hayes. ECC still does successfully get it deep in the offensive zone, getting a little bit of help from Canisius in the process. Griffs, though, managed to break it out of the zone. Hoffmaster can't keep possession initially, but now he might have something, almost taking it away from Hayes right there at the center ice logo. Baumgartner into the offensive zone as he takes a bump there along the glass, losing control of it. That gives an opportunity for Nguyen to start it up ice. Gets it to Kruskowski, but his play towards the front of the net negated by D as he steps out of his crease. Nice play at the point there as Alex Totten steps up. Aggressive play from his point position, but read that one perfectly, creating that loose puck, getting his team a little bit of extra zone time. 5 minutes gone in the period as Canisius looks to regroup and move it up ice on the far side. That pass again, just a little bit off the mark, looking for Grant in the neutral zone. Griffs now have to retreat back into their own end to play some defense. Loose puck behind the net. ECC player takes a hit there. Good work by Canisius to outnumber the forechecker in behind the net. But they still get a shot away. Does Kruskowski. Shoulder save made by D on a shot that probably ends up missing the net wide if he doesn't get the arm on it. Griffs with some trouble getting the puck out here in the last 30 seconds. ECC swarming in the offensive zone as they get that pass towards the front of the net. Redirected quickly, almost got to a stick on the far side. That would have been a nice setup if it would have gotten the proper bounces there from ECC's perspective. Offsides call there along the blue line, and that one maybe bailed out Canisius too. They were making a change there, and they had all 3 forwards coming to the bench. That was a 3-on-2 coming into the offensive zone, and the offsides is really what saved the opportunity there for ECC. Well, a couple of players tied up there as they head to the bench. See if whether or not we get tempers starting to flare any. There's been a pretty clean game so far, despite the fact that we did have a major call in the first period.
Yeah, not a ton of really chippiness, a couple of penalties, nothing really outrageous.
Nothing really after the whistles like we
That's
just saw
true.
right there. So we'll certainly keep an eye on that as any game where it's tightly contested, those types of incidents can happen more and more often as the game continues. Canisius spinning it through the neutral zone, forcing Joey Shea back into his own end. Nice play to get it up ice, but that one goes into the stick of Connor Smith. And now a chance for the Griffs to start it up on the near side. That pass doesn't connect as passing seems to be a little bit off the mark for Canisius here in the second.
I think for both teams, really. I've seen so many just kind of slight miscues, bouncing pucks, whatever it is, just not the, chemistry that we saw at certain points throughout the first period.
Yeah, certainly ECC was very sharp at the beginning of this game. When Canisius got their opportunities through the period, they made their plays count by making crisp passes. You think of that third goal,
Absolutely.
to play from below the goal line across in front of the net. That kind of crisp passing is certainly what I'm sure the Canisius staff is looking for to pick up again here in this game. Both sides just probably want to clean things up. Probably whichever side does so quickest will have an advantage. Here's an opportunity as Trifolo looking for his third of the game. This time, Slopik pushing from right to left and making a good glove save, denying the Golden Griff sniper his third of the game.
And right on cue, Canisius finally really snapping some passes, receiving them cleanly, and you saw 3 players leading in that rush and that zone entry, leading to a really high-quality shot, and Slopik one of his better saves of the night.
Certainly a player that ECC is going to want to keep an eye on, number 17, August Trifolo. He has been very dangerous when he's gotten opportunities, and here he is again letting a hard snapshot go. Another glove save made by Slopik, but that's a little bit too much time and space for somebody with that good of a shot.
Yeah, you can't let that kind of look continue to get let up. I mean, 2 in a row, you're letting one of the best players on the other team get a clean look at your goalie. Yes, he made 2 saves, but got to clean that up on defense if you're ECC.
And certainly both of the goals that he scored in the first period had a lot of those similar hallmarks on them. Too much time and space in a dangerous area. ECC almost with a chance there as they look to create something of their own. Eric Duma missing the net with that shot. Might have just rolled on him before he let it go. Shea along the blue line looked like he kept it in from my perspective. Linesman along the blue line calls it immediately. Everybody in red jerseys disagreeing. You saw some heads shaking on the ECC bench as well. Our opinions, though, don't matter much, and the whistle being blown and the linesman calling it offsides, that is the only thing that will matter here in the end. Face-off coming from the far side of the Canisius blue line.
We've seen a couple of offsides calls that I think both benches are just slightly upset with, but besides that, I don't think they're having too many problems with the officials here.
As somebody who's spent a fair amount of time yelling at referees from behind the bench myself, it's really easy to do, even in a situation like that where 30 seconds later, you're going to forget what you were yelling about because a play along the blue line, how much you're really going to gain in terms of advantage there. They already made the call. Sometimes you just can't help yourself when it comes to referees.
Oh, certainly. And they're easy to blame.
Good setup there as Yeager got it out in front to Bajer. Maybe just rolled on him a little bit and couldn't get a clean shot away. A little bit of a dirty zone entry from Canisius as well as they have to clear the zone, and that could give the Cats an opportunity in transition. Good defensive play, though. Braden Yanks getting that stick in the passing lane, keeping that from getting set up in front. And then a big hit along the blue line as the 2 number 8s collide. Alex Totten taking the worst of that one. Camden Abel getting the better side of it. And then Abel gets a scoring opportunity on a little half breakaway. Got tied up a little bit as he let the shot go, but still tested Slopik with a low wrist shot. Starting to open up a little bit like it was late in the first period. As we approach 11.5 to go in second period play, D covering that one up as the oncoming forecheckers were looking for a loose puck. We'll have a faceoff coming up in the Griff zone with 11:32 to go in the period. Our broadcast tonight brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. Militello.com or 716-856-2872. Referee adjusting his helmet, giving us plenty of time to complete the ad read as he is over here at the ECC bench, getting a little bit of help from the equipment manager here on the Cats bench to make sure he has a good clear view through the visor.
You know, you read my mind a moment ago about the 11-minute mark. I think in that first period is really when things started to open up. So if that trend continues, look out here in the next couple of minutes for our first goal of the second period.
A pretty quick developing 2-on-2 there, but a good play along the blue line. Totten with the poke check to keep that zone entry from coming together. Cats now looking to counter and come back in the other direction. That pass a little off the mark, and Hayes goes back to pick it up. Plays it into the neutral zone. Griffs will have to clear the zone, and that gives Hayes plenty of time to assess what he has as options now. Just chips a soft pass up the far side and back into the middle of the ice. That one unable to get onto Kruskowski's stick. And now a ping-ponging puck here in the neutral zone, eventually carried in across the blue line by Jackson Grant. Totten reverses it and gets it behind the net to Hayes. Hayes with some room to let a pass up ice, but that one doesn't connect. This one's going to go for icing against ECC. And yes, with 10:45 to go in the period, the faceoff will come back into the Cat zone as ECC guilty of the icing call.
And ECC still, just about halfway through this period, still kind of dealing with those off-target passes, having trouble. That time it kind of just went under the stick of the intended target, and both teams kind of just fluttering in place here.
Might have been one of those types of passing situations where he had almost too much time to set it up, enough time to think about it, and that little bit of a delay maybe caused the pass to be just that much off the mark. A couple of passes don't connect there as Canisius gets it across the blue line. Turnover forced by the Cats, and now it's Kriskowski pressuring the defenseman in the offensive zone. Puck comes up the near wall. Shea picks it up in the neutral zone, quickly getting it up ice. That pass again doesn't hit the mark. No icing on this play as Kraus tries to get it behind his own net. Puck is going to be picked up there and moved up the near wall as Canisius clears the zone and comes slowly into the Cats' end. This one's going to be icing as well. Just when we thought the play was opening up and the passing was starting to connect a little bit more, maybe just a little bit in neutral here in the middle part of the period. Another icing call, and the faceoff will come back into the Canisius end.
The broadcaster's jinx is very real, and I apologize to any fans who I may have annoyed with that comment. The game, like you said, not opening up whatsoever.
Every time you make one of those calls and you end up sounding smart, you're talking about a player as he ends up creating an opportunity.
Yeah.
You're bound to have the other end of things where you seem to see a trend going on and then it goes in the opposite direction for the next 2 minutes.
But people only remember when the weatherman is wrong.
Correct. ECC with the puck in the offensive zone as they look to get something set up here. A little bit better passing here in this push into the offensive end. Good defense, though, as Canisius forcing a loose puck. And then Kraus getting that puck cleared. Comes all the way back into the Cat zone. No icing on this play. Shea with 2 men on him. Griff's forcing a turnover. Shea, though, sticking with it to get that puck right back. And the Griffs get it right back off his stick. That shot, however, missing the net as Patrick LaRoque let that one go. Sent back down low. LaRoque on his man here, but a good play by Mangoni to get away from that pressure. Pass comes through the neutral zone, but a bouncing puck. Smith unable to handle that on the pass, but he's the first one to it in the offensive zone. Smith takes a hit, stays on his feet, but loses control of the puck. Good play by Kevin Kraus. He didn't get the better part of that hit, but still got his team possession on the play. Player gets knocked down along the blue line. Looks like maybe Canisius looking for a penalty as Trifolo got knocked down, but he's back in the play now as Mangoni starts it up ice. Deflected into the Canisius zone. This one is going to go far enough for icing. I'm not sure I necessarily agree with that call, but as we mentioned about 5 minutes ago in this game, our opinions on the referees' calls won't be consulted. We're not going to be asked what we think about a call, nor is anyone going to look for us to settle any debate on some of these calls. So this one is going to go for icing against EC. Faceoff coming to the right of Slopin.
And I know a few ice hockey officials. I'm sure you do as well. And I couldn't do that job whatsoever. So I like to give them the benefit of the doubt.
I've done it enough to know I don't want to do it full time. Matthews through the neutral zone as ECC quickly moves that puck up ice. Puck is kept in along the blue line. Smith now pressuring in the corner. Fatzinger takes it away from him, and he starts a pass through the neutral zone that bounces over the stick of Koluzny into the far corner. This one's just going to go far enough for icing as Koluzny unable to beat Mangoni in the foot race for the hash marks. ECC is going to get the offensive zone draw now, and they get 5 fresh skaters out there themselves to make sure they might get some sort of advantage from this offensive zone draw.
Yeah, and I mean, you can only trade icings, I think, for so long until something gives on one side or the other. Maybe it's a goal, maybe it's a penalty, something to kind of kick this game into a different level.
Faceoff comes towards the front of the net. Canisius looking to spring a rush here. Trifolo was a step on the D. Had an opportunity to let a shot go. Another chance where he's given a lot of time and space. He let that shot go from the dot. Another good save by Slopik as he now knows to keep an eye on 17 after the 2 goals in the first period. ECC finding control, but they can't connect on a pass as the D-to-D pass behind the net. There was nobody there to accept it. And now a chance for a turnaround shot, just barely unable to get that one through traffic was Dylan Kazmarski. Griffs, though, keep it in the offensive zone. This line has been very good for the Golden Griffins here today. Kazmarski, Koluzny, along with the most dangerous player, the one with the puck on his stick right now, Trifolo. Floats a sauce pass back to the point to Fatzinger, but he can't get it through the crowd. Keeps it in, though, at the point and gets that one to Trifolo on the far side. Good play to knock him off of that puck and get the zone cleared. Lewis Miller doing the work defensively. ECC gets it across the blue line, but only about 2 steps. And now it's going to be Koluzny carrying it up the near side. Koluzny across the blue line, steps around one defender, now has it behind the net as his teammates change. Koluzny looking for a pass. He had Woods in the high slot, just about 2 inches off the mark. Barely caught a little bit of the blade of the stick. Woods unable to handle it, but he's got the puck right now again. Woods into the offensive zone on his offhand. Good defensive play by O'Hara to knock him off of that one as the 2 players try to dig that loose puck away from the Zamboni door. Eventually that puck comes free as Canisius finds possession, but ECC taking it back and now looking to start it up the near side. Puck goes off of Koluzny's stick as he had a chance to keep it in. That's going to negate the icing that might have been called on that play as well. Good play by the Griffs to get it up ice quickly, though, as Woods looking for an opportunity on the far side. Good play by Hayes to outmuscle him there and keep him from getting that pass towards the front of the net. And now Yeager sends a pass up the far side, but the Cats can't get that one out. Shot from distance gets deflected straight down into the slot. Canisius player unable to find it to get a shot away, and now the puck goes to the far corner where it's Woods and Hayes battling each other. Woods down to one knee as Hayes slides that puck up the far wall. Again, the Cats can't get it out, though. Actually, it's the Griffs that do them a favor and get it to the neutral zone, and now Bajer almost steps around his man. He had lost his stick, but he couldn't get it through his legs. The stick ends up coming into play there as the pass was attempted there across to Yeager. It hits the stick that was discarded there along the ice. A stray stick ends up making a good defensive play there for the Griffs, and then the icing call is made after that. Still a 3-1 hockey game, but a lot more activity going on here in the last couple of minutes.
Yeah, well, before we had that most recent sequence in front of D, Canisius with a really nice couple of sustained extended possessions. I think I just combined 2 words there in the ECC zone. Not a ton of shots on goal, though. The Cats were pretty good at playing defense, and then just right there, really unlucky break because Bajer was wide open, streaking in, and that loose stick just prevented that pass.
Well, Bajer had made the move to force the defenseman to drop his stick. It was such a good move. He almost kept control of that one as he tried to get it around the defenseman. This one's going to go for an icing call against Canisius, so unable to make a change here as some players maybe been on the ice for a little bit of an extended period of time, as now you have a little bit of pleasantries being passed between the 2 number 20s along the blue line.
A little bit of a size mismatch there, despite the same number.
Yeah, Joey Shea definitely has the less height in terms of the pairing off with Luke Ingham, but he didn't seem to have interest in backing down one bit there. He was looking straight up into his chin, but certainly wasn't going to step back from him at all. Face-off now set to go there from the far dot of the Canisius zone. Looked like ECC was going for that quick shot off the draw. D ends up covering it up, and now we see whether or not Canisius makes some changes here when they have the opportunity to. At least one change coming, 2 different players coming over the boards. So some fresh personnel for this face-off coming in that same dot of the Canisius zone. Our broadcast today brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. Puck is dangerous at the moment as a player got hit in front of the net. The linesman gets hit on the far side as eventually it floats into the neutral zone where Hoffmaster has it on his stick. Ends up being deflected into the corner where Shea and Baumgartner battle for possession. Eventually taken away by Bajer as he carries it up ice. 3-on-2 maybe developing for the Cats. Bajer on his backhand takes the shot himself. Tough angle there, just couldn't get it under the bar. Ends up missing the net high and wide. Matthews knocks his man down in the neutral zone. No call there coming, though, as Matthews checked over his shoulder to see if either of the referees was making that call.
Yeah, you saw that when he pulled his stick away, instantly knew, when the defender went down, instantly knew, oh boy.
It didn't look like the type of call that you would expect to be seen, but you never know.
Right.
Puck banked off the far boards. This one will not go far enough for icing. That's the first potential icing that wasn't called so far here in this period. Good play by Mangoni to jump on a loose puck in the neutral zone and send it back into the offensive zone for the Cats. ECC now changing. Canisius tries to catch them in that change. Good play there as Baumgartner stepped around his man just inside the blue line, ends up drawing a penalty. Canisius with the delayed penalty coming up here as they set up in the offensive zone. Player in front of the net was wide open. Gets cleaned out after getting an opportunity in tight. Net comes off the moorings, and the penalty call being made in the original penalty. See whether or not there's a second one made on that play in front.
Yeah, so Canisius had an extra skater there for a couple of seconds, able to, set up a guy in front, some contact there, knocking the net off and all that. And with just about 4 minutes left in this second period, this could finally be a chance. And of course, as I say it, it's not going to come true, but this could finally be a chance for things to open up a little bit for the Griffs, and they could expand their lead.
Grady O'Hara is the player in the penalty box, number 24, guilty of a 2-minute tripping violation. And as the penalty kill starts to kill off his penalty, ECC finding possession, getting a quick clear to kill off the first 10 seconds of the man advantage for Canisius. Luke Ingham starting the breakout at the far side. He's got Koluzny as he has some speed in through the middle of the ice. Cuts in towards the net. Just a little bit too tight on the goaltender maybe in the end to get a good shot away. Still a good save had to be made by Slopik as he was forced to do something in tight, rather quickly developing too on the power play. Maybe not exactly what you're expecting to see as a goaltender.
Yeah, certainly. And for the shooter, just almost not enough room. He got in so close, not enough room to get the shot off with a ton of force behind it.
Trifolo gets it into the offensive zone, but gets knocked off the puck. Still kept in the zone. Kazmarski on the far side. Kazmarski steps away from Hayes. He gets a pass in front of the net. He's got a man there. Forehand, backhand move for Koluzny up over the glove hand. It's now 4-1 Canisius as they get another power play goal to open up a 3-goal advantage here in the second.
And when that puck was thrown in front and I saw Trifolo had it, he tried to get his stick on it. I think everybody was holding their breath, and it ended up making its way to Koluzny, who made a nice move to get to the backhand. And I was finally right on one of my predictions. That power play was the spark that we needed in this second period to finally get some offensive action and some scoring.
Great patient play at the net front there. That can be a spot where you're in a hurry to get the shot away before any of the defenders get to you or before the goaltender can give you that poke check. Very good patience and poise by Connor Koluzny. Had it on the forehand, took it to the backhand, and scooped it over the arm of the netminder. Now a 4-1 lead in favor of the Griffs as they make that power play pay off.
Yes, certainly, and I think as this game develops, one of the storylines is going to be Canisius capitalizing on their power play opportunities while ECC has not been able to do so.
Back to 5-on-5 play as Canisius getting a little bit of extra life from that goal as they get it into the offensive zone. Now setting up with Mason Clark on the far side. 2 men on him as he gets a little bit of help from Thurnher, and they keep possession at least for a moment. It comes around behind the net, and they find it again with Matthew LaRoque. LaRoque back to the point. Fatzinger quickly makes sure it stays deep in the offensive zone. Good play by Thurnher to knock down that puck out of midair. Pass back to the point right in between the two defensemen. And now they head back into their own zone before they can look to go back up ice again. First pass connects, and this is going to be Patrick LaRoque trying to carry it through the middle of the ice. Slowed down a little bit at the blue line. His teammates do a good job of staying on side, and now they set up some forecheck pressure in the near corner. Christian Mangoni with a good job of getting it away from the two different forecheckers. ECC now up into the neutral zone. That pass doesn't connect as the pressure being put on here in the near corner by Nguyen. Good play to get it up ice and into the offensive zone. Matthew LaRoque cutting towards the slot. Drop pass to his brother Patrick. Just couldn't quite dig that one out of his skates. Almost had a glorious scoring opportunity from a good spot as the two LaRoques set something up there in the mid slot.
Beautiful chemistry, and I love the play to leave that pass off. And of course, his brother in the right spot there, just, defended well. ECC didn't give up on the play to shut that down, but Canisius has really played, I think, a much cleaner and sharper period. Yes, in the first they scored 3, but just end to end, I've been a little bit more impressed with what Canisius has done here in the second.
And I think as you look at the game as a whole, it has just continued to improve as the game has gone on.
Absolutely.
We talked about how the first 5 minutes were decidedly in the ECC advantage, but Brendan D making the saves that his team needed him to make. Eventually the Canisius players started to get their life, and now they're playing with a lot more confidence here in the second. Long stretch pass attempted, ends up being a 180-foot shot let go by O'Hara. Save is made on the bouncing puck by D, and he ends up holding on for a whistle. Faceoff will come to his left in the ECC offensive zone. And our broadcast today is brought to you by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Visit enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Approaching the last minute of play in the second period, ECC looking for a push in a middle stanza that certainly hasn't gone the way that they would like. O'Hara finding a loose puck along the blue line. He gets it to Bacher, who gets it across the blue line, but a good play to at least cut him off there and make him go back and make another effort. He almost got a good scoring opportunity from just left of the net. Good save made by D and good defense to keep him from having a whole lot of time there. Circling and looking to wind it up is Kazmarski. Pass up to Trifolo in the neutral zone. Here comes this dangerous top line for Canisius. They have been deadly every time they've been out there. This time it's a shot from distance from Koluzny, fairly easily handled there by Slopik, but a certain other note about this top line from Canisius. They have been very good throughout. Obviously, they have 3 of the 4 goals they put on the board today.
Yeah, and just as they continue to get more comfortable in this early season for the Griffs, just becoming better, playing together, and even you seeing that throughout this game as it goes by, this top line is just taking more and more control of the action.
It seems like every time they're out there, their line wins the shift. I haven't seen them lose a shift here in the second period. That's kind of that gaining confidence that we've been talking about. The whole Canisius bench has been finding throughout this game. 19 seconds to go in the period. One last opportunity maybe for ECC to create something. Baker with a cross-ice pass, shot then from the point. Good play by Nick Woods to get that one blocked. And now Canisius looking to get something in the waning seconds of the period. Woods across the blue line, drops that pass off, but fanning on the shot was Camden Abel. Puck behind the net as the last 2 seconds tick away. And period number 2 will come to a close with the score 4-1 in favor of the Canisius University Golden Griffins. A fairly, I would say, even period in general, a period that wasn't as clean as the first period was. The first period was very high-paced, solid passing on both sides, maybe a little bit more of a defensive period where both sides were stymieing the opposing team. But the one goal that's scored is the one that allows Canisius to expand their lead. Now 4-1 with the power play goal by Koluzny.
Yes, certainly. I mean, it definitely an even period when it's just 1-0 in favor of one team. But if Canisius made few mistakes in that first, they made basically 0 mistakes in that second period. And, the one goal is just a little bit of insurance. That's always nice. And just like you said a few minutes ago, they went from kind of playing a little bit behind, a little bit of a slow start, and just have continued to get sharper and better and more efficient as this game has gone on.
One of just 3 games in the entire club hockey world going on tonight. It is 4-1 after 2 periods of play between Canisius and ECC. Taking a look at the other 2 games that are going on, because might as well, we have the opportunity to. The other AAU game that's going on is Massachusetts Maritime Academy and Quincy College. That is a back-and-forth wild affair, currently 7-6 in favor of Mass Maritime. That is a third period score. Meanwhile, the other game is an ACHA matchup. No score yet from Iowa State and Waldorf. Hopefully we'll get a score before we get done with third period play here from the Nichols School. But we'll step away now for the second intermission, and we'll be back in about 15 minutes for third period play. You're watching live coverage of AAU college hockey on the Nichols City Hockey Network, Western New York's new home for amateur hockey.
Modern media is everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing. Broadcast to social, print to digital, 412 Communications has the solution to get you heard. Want to know more? Visit 412communications.com today.
And welcome back to the Nichols School Rink. About ready for third period play as we bring you continuing coverage of AAU college hockey here on the Nichols City Hockey Network. About ready for third period play in this matchup that is a renewal of a traditional Halloween game. Canisius and ECC bringing back this tradition, and it is 4-1 in favor of the Canisius Golden Griffins after 2 periods of play. Hello, I'm Aaron Elpern, joined by Ryan Tantolo, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski here in the 412 Communications broadcast booth. 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. And certainly been 2 very unique periods so far in this game here, Ryan. But the one thing that you could say has been consistent throughout, Canisius taking advantage of the opportunities they've got.
Yeah, 100%. I think the number of opportunities per side, or even if anything, it could favor ECC a little bit, at least at different points, especially in that first period. But Canisius has done a far better job of capitalizing.
Officially, shots on goal in this game are 24-15 in favor of Canisius. I was surprised to see those numbers, as it seems that it's been fairly even in the offensive zone, but certainly the conversation about the shots on goal with one of the members of the ECC coaching staff, the remark was, we're not shooting enough.
Interesting, although I would, in the back of my head, 15, I would have figured ECC had a lot more than 15 shots. But, you know, again, who are we to comment on that?
It's a statistic to talk about during the broadcast. This might be a shot opportunity coming up for the Cats. Good defensive play, though, is cutting off that lane. Luke Ingham making sure that his defensive counterpart, Mangoni, didn't have a whole lot to go with there in the offensive zone on the far side. Nguyen's shot gets deflected up over top of the cage. Griffs now finding possession, and they look to work a pass up the near side, getting in the way and turning that one over, though, is Kriskowski as he sends a hard, quick snapshot, just barely missing the net wide. Good first shift here from the Cats as Kriskowski just can't barely handle that pass. Now a breakaway in the other direction for Koluzny. Koluzny to the backhand, slides it through the 5-hole. It's now 5-1 Canisius as Connor Koluzny has the last 2 goals in the game. It's now a 4-goal advantage for the Griffs as, again, they take advantage of the opportunities that come along.
You said it. I mean, taking advantage of the opportunities early in this third period. Koluzny kind of did it all himself there. Nice little chip up ahead over the defender's stick, giving himself some breathing room, chasing it down, scoring on the backhand, which he scored his first goal in a similar fashion. Not a breakaway, but both on the backhand. And Canisius just continuing to improve and gain momentum and expand their lead.
And we talked about the top line of Koluzny, Kazmarski, and Trifolo. That's 4 of the 5 goals now for that line. Trifolo with 2, Koluzny with the last 2. Kazmarski with a couple of assists here in this game, and certainly that line doing everything that they can to give their team a chance to win. Essentially all on their backs, this 4-goal lead has been built. But it could be an opportunity for ECC to cut into that as Yeager created a turnover there, took it right to the front of the net. Stop was made by D on a tight angle. Another shot coming in from the side. 2 saves made in quick succession there by the netminder for Canisius. Opportunity in front as Yeager got that pass across, and then D slides from right to left to deny that one with the shoulder. It looked like Yeager had enough room to sneak that one up under the bar, but D gets across to make the stop, keep this one a 4-goal game, just like he did in the first period, making the saves that his team needs him to make in those key situations.
Yeah, he's continuing to kind of set himself apart for this Canisius team, really show that they can rely on him, and that was a great save just now, really lunging in front of that puck on that near post, getting his shoulder in front of it and stopping the play.
Brayton Yanks sacrificing the body to get blocked there, but it's still going to be an opportunity in tight. This time Yeager finds the room to sneak that one past the goaltender. ECC gets the answer. It's now a 5-2 game as on the doorstep, Cody Yeager puts that one home to get the Cats second of the game.
And ECC went right back to that same spot on the ice, kind of on that short side, glove side for D, beating him he was in the right position, but just kind of under the crook of his elbow, between his armpits sort of area. A puck-sized hole, and he shot the puck through that hole. And ECC with a nice answer here, still plenty of time in the third period.
17:51 remaining in regulation, a 3-goal hockey game yet again. I would say that our overall assessment of this game is no clear advantage between one teams, despite the fact that it is a 3-goal lead for Canisius. There have been plenty of opportunities for ECC in this game. They haven't done as good at taking advantage of them as Canisius has when their chances have come along, and still have 17 and a half to go to determine which team can do better at what they've been doing throughout this game, whether it's going to be Canisius or ECC. At least so far in this shift, Canisius doing some good work to set up some zone time. Puck comes up the near wall. Connor Smith has plenty of room to skate it up ice. Across the blue line. Now he looks to unload that shot through the arm of the goaltender. Connor Smith picks up where he left off this weekend. He's got another goal. It's now 5-3 as the Cats get 2 in quick succession, and we've got ourselves a brand new ball game here in the third.
Yeah, I mean, this third period has kind of taken us back to that period in that first period. For a while there, back and forth, momentum swings, penalties, all kinds of craziness. And I mean, in the first not even 3 minutes, we've seen 3 goals here. This is great, and this is exactly what I was kind of expecting and hoping to see. We saw glimpses of it. Let's see if we can sustain a little bit of this energy.
Good play by Ingham there at the blue line to keep the ever dangerous Smith from getting another opportunity. Connor Smith looking to carry that one back in across the blue line. Good play by Ingham to make the poke check play. Still in the offensive zone here for the Cats as they look to set up pressure on the far side. This is Andrew Baker looking for the wraparound. Good play by D to get over to the near post. Baker now trying to battle for a loose puck in the near corner. He's got 2 men on him, slides it behind the net. Ingham is the first one to it for the Griffs. Can't get it out of the zone though. O'Hara keeping it at the left point. Pass through the middle of the ice. That's a dangerous spot for a breakout pass. Cats find possession, shot from distance. That one hits the outside of the net. Saw the mesh fluttering there as the big hit in behind the net ends up leaving a Canisius player down on the play.
And a delay before that whistle blown, allowing ECC to get 1 shot on goal before the play finally stopped. It hit the iron somewhere on the net. I had a bit of trouble seeing that. Player down behind the net, now coming off the ice.
Yeah, it looked like that one, they got the shot off, and that one hit the top of the crossbar. Ingham, the player, slow to get back to his skates. He took a pretty big jolt there behind the play from the big forward from ECC, number 25, Eric Duma. Good to see both players back at their full capacities. Ingham back to the bench, Duma back to his bench as well, and we continue 5-on-5 here in the offensive zone for the Cats, and they find possession again. Ryan Matthews taking a bump there, but he gets it to a teammate. Yeager along to Bajer. Can't keep possession of that. Now this is going to be Trifolo getting it up ice to Kolesny. Kolesny takes a pretty stiff hip check there. Christian Mangoni, perfectly timed hip check there along the blue line. Yeager in the other direction. He's got one of the most 2 recent goals for ECC at the first goal of the period for the Cats. Drifts across the blue line, but a little bit of a delay on that zone entry as Kolesny and Trifolo brought it in over the blue line. That one's going to be an offsides call. Face-off coming up along the ECC blue line with just a little bit more than 4 minutes gone in the period, but a very entertaining 4 minutes already. We have 3 goals scored here in the frame.
Yeah, we had an explosive start to this third period in terms of scoring, and I think we're also seeing the physicality pick up a little bit too. I think ECC a little bit undersized compared to Canisius, but they're not afraid to throw their bodies around either. It's this is kind of what I've been hoping for and waiting for.
Yeager up to Bajer. They get it in the offensive zone, but not deep, and now Woods comes back in the other direction. Pass into the skates of Yankski, almost pulls it free to get a shot away. Good defense, Joey Shea right on top of him to take that puck off his stick. ECC trying to break it out on the near side, but they can't get that pass up to Bajer, and now Shea has it in the corner. Pass up to Yeager, and he feeds it through the neutral zone, too far for any intended target. This one's going to go for icing, as winning the foot race back into his own zone was Aiden Flaherty. So Canisius will get the offensive zone draw with a little bit more than 15 minutes to go in the period. And our broadcast tonight is supported by Pups Styled by Jesse, one-on-one grooming services that will have your dog looking forward to its next visit. Voted Best of 716 Pet Groomer for 2022 and 2023. Pups Styled by Jesse on Main Street in Clarence, just east of Transit Road. Cats get it into the offensive zone. Matthews and Yeager unable to keep it there, established on the near side. And now Woods and Yanks get it up ice. Yanks, though, taking a big hit on the far side. That was Christian Mangoni driving him to the ice against the far wall. Puck here on the near wall as Yanks keeps it in the zone for the Griffs. Comes back towards the blue line. Good support play as it's now Woods with the puck on his stick. Woods spins away from one man, makes sure it gets down low, finds a teammate there below the goal line. That is Camden Abel looking for a pass out towards the front of the net. Good defense, though. That was Shea and Bajer right on either side of him, creating that loose puck. Maybe a 2-on-1 here for the Cats. In tight with Shea getting that quick redirection, had to adjust his body in order to not only get enough of that puck to get it on net, but also to change the elevation of it and really put a test there on D. Good work from the defenseman jumping up in the play. Number 20, Joey Shea, but an equally good save by the netminder, Brandon D.
Yeah, really impressive play by Shea to not only get to the puck, but to get the shot off, elevated, and a nice save by D, one of the better looks and better saves he's made in this third.
Puck goes off the rafters after a deflected shot was taken from the point. 14-24 now remaining in third period play. Still a 2-goal lead in favor of the Griffs. Kazmarski and Baker on for the draw in the far circle. Puck comes up to Hoffmaster. He banks it off the far boards. This one will not go far enough for icing, as it's going to be Cade Hayes picking it up behind his net. Hayes' pass ends up on Hoffmaster's stick, and now an opportunity in front. Great save by Slopik as a golden opportunity was served up to Jackson Grant, and Slopik stayed with him and made the pad stop.
Yeah, that was robbery. I thought Canisius was about to put that one home.
That looked like for sure the sixth goal of the game, just based on where the opportunity came together. Slopik with his best save of the game, though, certainly not letting the previous goal scored by Canisius get into his head. Made the save when his team needed it. And now we have a penalty coming up against the Cats as they get an opportunity in front. Hoffmaster slides it between the legs of the netminder, and there's the sixth goal for the Griffs. They open up that 3-goal lead yet again, and they'll get a power play as well because there was that delayed penalty coming up to the Cats.
Yeah, that's a backbreaker for ECC right after your goaltender makes a great save to keep the game close. Canisius comes back into the zone, sets up the offense again, draws the penalty, scores, and then, they're going to penalize themselves and just dig a deeper hole.
And that's a big moment here in this game because not only did it look like ECC was getting the save that they needed from their netminder, they had already gotten the 2 previous goals here in this period. Maybe a little bit of life from the offensive players. Their goaltender was starting to make the saves that he needed to. But then they get the delayed penalty. Canisius gets the 6th skater out there and takes advantage. Finding the back of the net yet again. Now a 6-3 lead in favor of the Griffs. And I've said it multiple times already on the broadcast already. They've done an excellent job of taking advantage of the chances that are there. The Griffs have been opportunistic in this game and certainly making it pay off with a 6-3 lead now.
Yeah, definitely. That's been one of the biggest keys to this game for them, as well as just the fact that every time ECC feels like they're making a comeback, crawling back into the game, Canisius is there to capitalize and cut the momentum off before it gets out of control.
And it goes all the way back to the first 5 minutes of the game where it looked like ECC was going to come, but definitely came out as the faster team. Looked like they wanted to grab a stranglehold of this game early on. Brendan D made the saves he needed to make, and then the team started to catch life and started to put the puck in the net. There's another hard shot taken by Koluzny as he's looking for his third of the game. Juggling glove save made by Slopik, and he hangs on for a whistle. 1:32 to go in this Canisius power play.
That was a saucy move by Koluzny along that blue line, kind of moving the puck quickly and moving to the high slot, center of the ice for a hard shot, but another nice save by Slopik.
Shot from the far point, that one right in on goal from Aiden Flaherty. Another glove save made by Slopik. Still 1:27 remaining on this ECC penalty, the one that came on that delayed call that Canisius scored on. Faceoff's going to be in the far circle, and it's going to be Kazmarski winning that draw. Canisius keeps it in for a moment, but ECC getting the clear. Now a foot race. This is Bajer going back to pressure the goaltender D. D smartly playing it over to the near side, but the defenseman falls down on the play. Bajer then sends it right back deep in the zone as it comes across the blue line. O'Hara sends it into the offensive zone. That one hit the linesman. Bajer finding possession, now looking to set something up shorthanded. Pass didn't quite get over to Duma as he had an opportunity to maybe let a shot go in front of the net if that pass would have gotten all the way to him. Woods here on the near side. Puck bounces off of his stick, and now it's going to be ECC finding possession, looking to kill off a little bit more time. Maybe seems like they have in mind towards creating something shorthanded here if Canisius is going to be unable to really get something set up in the offensive zone. So maybe pushing the pace a little bit, as this is Smith having that puck just bounce over his foot. Could have been a 2-on-1 if he settled that one down. Canisius not really being smart there in terms of the marking there defensively. A little bit casual, and now they're going to take an icing violation as well.
Yeah, and if you're Canisius, even on the power play, you have to know that a 3-goal lead is not safe after the way this period began and ECC, made their effort to come back. Canisius answered, but, at this point in the game, you got to start thinking about putting the opponent away.
Yeah, we've had 4 goals scored in not even 8 minutes of the period. We can get another 4 or 5 scored before this one's over. So the end result's certainly in question here in this game. Griffs should not let these power plays go by the wayside, take advantage of them when they're there. In this case, it is ECC being very effective at killing it off. Now just 13 seconds remaining in the minor penalty. I don't think Canisius is going to be too upset, though, if this power play doesn't go for them, because they did score during the delayed part of the penalty call before the call was assessed. Last 2 seconds tick away on the penalty to Hayes, and he steps out of the penalty box. As we are back to 5-on-5, Canisius with the puck in their own zone. D-to-D pass doesn't succeed, and now unable to get it out here on the near side is Mason Clark. Puck comes towards the front of the net, handled with the stick and pad of Brendan D. ECC, though, can't keep it in on the far side. Puck just rolling over the stick of Christian Mangoni. Griffs find possession again inside their own blue line. Settling things down and looking for a pass up the near side. Yanks unable to handle that one. Now Shea picks it up for the Cats. Approaching 11 minutes to go in regulation as Andrew Baker picks it up in the neutral zone. Possible 3-on-2 there that just didn't come together fast enough for the Cats, but they still have an opportunity in the offensive zone as Duma keeps it in at the blue line. Baker helping him out, letting a shot go from right along the goal line. Kind of a sneaky play there, as maybe not expecting a shot was D, but he was in the proper position to make a save. Held on to force another whistle. 10:49 now remaining here in third period play. And our broadcast today brought to you by the Battaglia Marciano Agency, an independent agent for auto, homeowners, business, and life insurance. The Battaglia Marciano Agency has been providing peace of mind for Western New Yorkers for over 35 years. ECC winning a face-off, and now they get something set up with Matthews in the far corner. Very tough angle shot as he essentially just throws it into the chest of the netminder. That was, I'm not sure that counts as a shot on goal, because I'm pretty sure it just ends up over here at the hash marks if he doesn't make the stop. Anyways, he hangs on for the whistle. Another face-off coming from that same far dot of the Canisius zone. This time it is the Griffs winning the face-off, and Hoffmaster chipping it out of the zone. Foot race for a loose puck. It's going to be Hayes getting to it first for ECC. Hayes to Yeager, and he circles the net looking for a breakout pass. Makes the pass to himself off the boards, but unable to collect it. Now it's going to be a chance for the Griffs in tight. Hoffmaster tried to step around one man, keeps possession of it, tries to find a passing option. Couldn't quite get that one to Thurnher, and now Yeager feeds it up the near wall. Pass was too far for Matthews, and it's going to go for icing, but I think we might have a little bit of a conversation about that one. Referee back here on the play, already talking to the ECC bench. Hang on, I got it. This faceoff might come up at center ice here. This icing might be reconsidered here before too long. See what this conversation ends up being.
Yeah,
wish we had a mic there for this.
That would be nice. That's one of the best things about some other leagues. You get to get a little bit more personality from the officials. Sometimes it's really nice.
Sometimes I think the officials would prefer not to have their conversations broadcast. And, in this case, I can't necessarily blame them, and they get together in conference and make what I believe is the correct call to not have an icing call, a correct face-off there at center ice, as we are at exactly halfway through the third period. It's a 3-goal lead in favor of the Canisius Golden Griffins as they look to get it into the offensive zone, but Cade Hayes creating a little bit of space for himself to carry it through the neutral zone. Hayes from distance takes a snapshot from just outside the top of the circle. D didn't handle that one as cleanly as he would have wanted to, but he did make the save. Was an anxious moment there maybe for some of the Canisius fans in attendance.
Yeah, that puck just trickled right off the pad just wide on the near side of that net.
2-on-2 battle along the goal line. Yeager gets it towards the front of the net. Nice play by the undersized forward to go into a dangerous area and then create an opportunity for himself. He had the goal on the doorstep from that same spot earlier in that period. certainly looking to add to that and get his team back into this game. Shot from distance gets redirected. Now it's caught up in a player's equipment. Flaherty with the puck finally falling out of his pants, and we get the whistle stopping play before it did. 9:13 now remaining in regulation. Canisius continuing to try to protect this 3-goal lead.
Yeah, and ECC on that possession, keeping the zone a couple of times, sending shots on net. You know, Yeager trying a shot from pretty much the exact same spot that he scored earlier in this period, but D and the Canisius Griffins defense so far doing what they got to do.
Certainly won't expect to see any let-up, though, from ECC, as the offensive pressure should just be ramped up over these next 9 minutes as the desperation level gets higher and higher closer we get to the end of regulation. Shot from the far side of the blue line gets deflected wide, and then we have a big hit here on the near side, and that one's going to draw a penalty. It's an ECC player slowly getting back to the ice, as we have just a quick conversation between the offending player and a teammate of the at least shortly injured player. So heading to the penalty box, this is going to be Flaherty, and we'll have to wait and see what the call here is. Looks like it's a 2-minute interference call, so a chance on the power play for ECC, and this one couldn't come soon enough.
Yeah, I mean, when you're down 3 late in the game, power plays are always welcome. And again, for ECC, when we compare these two teams tonight, I think power play opportunities, again, opportunities in general, but power play, definitely lopsided category that ECC has not had a ton of success with. Here's another chance to change that.
They win the faceoff to start things off, but Baker can't keep it in. Now it might be a half breakaway. Great play, though, to dive and knock that one off of LaRoque's stick. That was Mangoni laying out to make the play defensively. Canisius bench was trying to call for a penalty there, but I think that was a perfect play, leaping to get stick on puck first and not get that penalty called against him. Great play defensively, but that's certainly not what ECC wants to be doing right now, making plays in the defensive end, especially with the power play.
Oh, yeah, certainly a great diving poke check there, but not exactly what you're hoping for when you step out for the power play.
Shouldn't have been the opportunity even created. Just a little bit of a bouncing puck and maybe a little bit of casualness along the blue line ends up leading to the opportunity. Puck sent in on Slopik, and he has to make another stop, and we're going to have a different ECC power play unit come on. First 30 seconds have gone absolutely nowhere for this power play group, so 5 new players come over the boards, and we'll see what they can do with the last minute 30 of this man advantage.
Yeah, I think we saw this a little bit when ECC had a power play in that second period. It took them about 90 seconds really to get things going, and time that they really can't afford to waste here.
Oh, they intercept the pass there as Canisius a little bit casual along the blue line themselves. O'Hara letting a good hard low shot go. That just hit the outside of the post. Had a little bit of room there on the far side, just couldn't quite find the right angle.
6 inches to the right, different story.
Maybe even as much as 2. Setting it up in the offensive zone. This is going to be Yeager with the cross-ice pass. Shot then taken from distance by Thauer, right in on goal, and a pad save made by D. Thauer on that loose puck again. Canisius trying to clear it on the far side. Second attempt gets to the blue line, but Matthews keeps it in. Then his shot from distance gets deflected, but right to Thauer in the corner. Thauer getting knocked down, and now a loose puck is cleared to the blue line, and now it's going to be skated up ice. This is Patrick LaRoque into the offensive zone. Just floats a quick wrist shot in on goal, handled by the glove of the goaltender. And now it's going to be Joey Shea looking to get it up ice quickly for the Cats. Shea with some speed. 3 defenders, though, in front of him. He cuts between them all, gets the shot away, ends up hitting the post, and then the rebound comes right back to him. D makes the stop, but what an individual effort from Joey Shea. Looked like he had nothing there in the offensive zone, a 1-on-3, but found his way through all 3 of the defenders and got a good shot off.
Yeah, a 1-on-3 with a size mismatch against a couple of those guys at least mixed in there, somehow kind of split the gap, and then D makes another great save. He's just continuing to look better and better throughout tonight.
Clearly, as we've seen already in this game, Shea does not care about those size mismatches. He will go into those dirty areas just like that, as if he was 6'5", 220. He is a fearless hockey player. Still got 18 seconds of a power play as Shea goes back to pick this puck up. Assessing his options for a pass, fakes off to one side and now carries it up the left side. Ships a pass up the boards, and his teammates are going to have to be quick to get that puck in the offensive zone. They do get it across the blue line, but now a battle for that loose puck, and Canisius is going to get the clear, and that kills off the end of the penalty. Talk about the opportunistic Golden Griffins here in this game, making their chances pay off. They're also doing a good job of killing off penalties and keeping these ECC opportunities on the man advantage from really doing they don't really give up a lot of opportunities so far in the man advantage, but they haven't allowed ECC to really gain momentum from the times that they've had with the power play.
Yeah, and if anything, at least during this last kill and a couple others throughout the night, Canisius, playing with the lead and on that penalty kill, keeping the puck down in the ECC zone, so, getting them closer and closer to the finish line here tonight, if anything, which is great, down a man or even with a power play. It's just a good strategy when you can do that. You can put pressure on the opponent regardless of how many skaters you have on the ice.
And anytime you have a lead late in the game, it's real natural to fall into a defensive shell and forget to have your foot on the gas, at least so far here in this game as we're winding down to 6 minutes to go. Canisius has kept that offense going. They haven't really backed off and played defense only. Now they have a chance. It's going to be Hoffmaster carrying it in. Good defensive play to knock him off of that, but it comes right to a teammate and a chance in front for Gavin Baumgartner as the ECC defense perhaps a little bit too casual there in transition. They're looking to get back into this game, forgetting that they have to keep on playing defense on their own end.
Right, you make the initial stop, force the loose puck, but then there's another skater coming in support that you forget about.
Totten's shot from distance gets deflected in front of the net. I don't know if D ever had a good view on that one. It ends up being deflected wide, and now we have a penalty call in the aftermath. Is this going to be a pair of penalties, one to each side? Based on the two skaters going to the penalty box, I think my assessment has been perfect.
It appears to be so. Krzyzkowski for ECC, and I believe that was Grant for Canisius. Not sure if anything's going to go up on the clock here.
Yeah, Coincidental Miners will have 4-on-4 play coming up here with 5 minutes and 41 seconds remaining in the third. Got to think of anything. 4-on-4 would favor ECC depending on personnel. Because if Canisius gets part of their top line out there, that could be a pretty effective group 4-on-4 as well. At least so far, that is not the Canisius top line that's out there, but you do see some of the top players for ECC. Connor Smith right there as he tries to get that pass to Mangoni. Good play by Nick Woods to create the loose puck, and now he carries it up the near side. Woods gets knocked down on the play, and now Smith has it again. He comes in 1-on-3 himself, gets it around the defenseman, eventually finds possession. Now back to the point to Bajer. Smith gets knocked down. Bajer now has a lane. Cross to Shea as he looks for a shooting lane. Nothing really there, and he gets it down to Mangoni. Mangoni losing control of the puck as Will Mailing takes it away from him. Another good defensive play to keep that one from really developing in front of the net. Now Mason Clark with the puck on his stick. Eventually getting that puck across, and now it's into center ice as Canisius might be getting into a little bit more of that defensive posture right now. Under 5 minutes to go with a 3-goal lead. Certainly not the worst way to play. 4-on-4 play continuing here for another minute 9 as the puck comes up the near wall to Woods. He's got a man in front of the net, just can't quite settle that one down to get the pass to him. 2-on-2 in the other direction. Smith with some back check pressure. Good play by Woods again. That's 2 or 3 different plays that he's come back on this shift to make the smart play defensively. In that case, Connor Smith a little bit too much time dangling with the puck on his stick.
And he makes the same move every single time he has the puck. Canisius has been able to adjust to it.
Shot from Bajer into the midsection of D. Brief rebound was there, but the netminder dives on it to keep their second chance opportunity from coming together. Some conversation after the whistle, and both teams now head towards their benches for a change as have less than 4.5 minutes to go in regulation now.
I think that, to my previous point about Smith and that move, very effective early in this game, generating shots on goal, but a couple of times he had the puck, he made the same exact move to the center of the ice, and Canisius was ready for it, stopping the shot. He never got a shot off.
Oh, wow, a shot comes through traffic. D never gets a look at it. Nice play by Totten to let that one go. It sneaks inside the far post. It's now 6-4. Still plenty of time here for the ECC Cats as they get the 4th goal up on the board. 4:16 remaining. And don't go anywhere, folks. If you were starting to chalk this one up as a Canisius win, ECC still has some things to say about that.
Yeah, just when it was kind of starting to become late in the game, crunch time, 2 goals is quite manageable now if you're ECC. And I think you were right, Aaron, about the 4-on-4 perhaps favoring the Cats in this game. A little bit of a speed advantage there, some space on the ice, generating that chance. And you get one more here. You start thinking about pulling the goalie. Totally different complexion of this game than a moment ago.
Totten now steps into a passing lane, looking to get another offensive zone opportunity. It's a second shot in a row on goal. This time the pad save is made by D, as it's now Duma setting it up deep in the offensive zone. Now to the point to Matthews. His shot hits a body in front. Good work by the Canisius defenders to create a wall in front of their netminder, not allow any shots coming through from distance. Matthews taking a hit, but he gets it up ice. Duma now trying to beat his man to the puck. He gets the shot away. Good play to not only take Flaherty off of that puck, but also set up a chance for himself. Duma with a turnaround shot. That one misses the net wide. Totten, though, steps into a shot as well. Almost had a rebound chance right to Duma in the slot, but it just went off his skate. Puck is then scooped up and out of play as the attempted clear off the glass ends up going not only over the glass, but also over the protective netting and up into the spectators. Fortunately, ends up missing all of the folks over there to our right, and be ready for another offensive zone faceoff here for the ECC Cats as they get a fresh line of forwards out there.
And after that goal a moment ago, ECC back knocking on the door here. I mean, this next couple of possessions is going to be crucial.
Puck comes towards the point. Shea retreats as Yanks gets it up ice. Pass goes off the far boards and then back into the neutral zone. Baker unable to get to that one before it's sent right back into the offensive zone by Grant. Pass up the far wall is behind Duma, but he still puts some pressure on the defender. Thurnher now with a chance to carry that one through the neutral zone. He dumps it into the far corner. Now he's quickly deep in the offensive zone, pressuring the defense. Mangoni with a good play to create a loose puck and get it up ice. Now a bouncing puck in the neutral zone. Duma with the puck on his stick, across the blue line and lets the shot go. From distance, though, and fairly easy save. Brendan D making sure he gets from left to right and cuts off the angle. Pins that one to his chest for another stop. 2:48 now remaining in regulation. And as our broadcast tonight is brought to you by Militello Realty, Western New York's premier commercial real estate broker. To buy, sell, or lease any office, industrial, retail, or investment property, trust the unparalleled knowledge and experience of Militello Realty. ECC almost getting that pass connected from below the goal line out in front. But Canisius finding possession as they look to work it up ice, just deflecting it through the neutral zone. Getting it into the offensive end is Patrick LaRoque. Pass is intercepted, as this is going to be Matthew LaRoque killing off some more time on the clock, keeping it deep in the offensive zone for the Griffs. But Cats break that pressure as now Smith into the offensive zone. Lets that snapshot go. Good save made by D, as again it was Connor Smith with a chance to load that shot up and get it in on goal. Shot from Shea from distance, a soft redirection towards the net. D makes the stop. Baker has control as the net is empty at the zone to our left. 6 skaters out there for ECC as Shea's shot is scooped up by the glove of Brendan D. And we'll get an offensive zone draw coming up for ECC. Minute 57 now remaining in regulation. The ECC net is empty. And the Cats are going to pull out all the stops to get the 2 equalizers that they need to draw even in this game.
And in the last couple of possessions for ECC, Duma has been camped out in front of that net. Watch out for him, with the extra skater especially. Big body, looking for a deflection late in this game.
He scored a goal in the first period, that mid-air redirection as he batted it in baseball style. So look for that big frame in front. He's in the corner right now trying to dig that puck free. Eventually it comes to the point. Shea unable to get there to keep it in. Mangoni has to wait for his teammates to clear the zone. Eventually they do. His shot comes from the top of the circle. Glove save made by D, and with a flourish, he tosses the puck up in the air and lets it drop on top of his glove. He's going to hand that to the referee, and we'll be ready for another draw in the zone to D's right and the dot to D's right. Minute 31 now to go in regulation.
And Duma's still out there. He's been out there for a long time in the last minute or so, I'd say.
Got to wonder when ECC will look to call their timeout and make sure their top players have that extra bit of rest that they might need. Baker and Smith in that far corner looking to put on some pressure. Puck comes free. Woods with a chance to get it out. Good play at the point. Mangoni keeping in with a good play with the skate. Eventually that does come across the blue line. Yanks getting it taken off of his stick by Baker. Baker with some pressure on him just inside the blue line. Eventually gets it to Shea. Minute 4 to go in regulation as Shea circles the net. Starts the pass up the far side. Mangoni to Smith. Cuts between the D and lets the shot go. Just couldn't get it on the netminder, missing the net wide on the near side. Puck still inside the offensive zone as it comes towards the slot. Bouncing puck as the teams try to find possession. Ends up going through the skates of Baker, but he gets it to a teammate as the shot from Smith from the top of the circle. Another one up high on D, and he cuts off the angle and makes another stop. 40 seconds now remaining in regulation, still a 6-4 lead in favor of the Griffs.
Right, and I mean, you'd think you'd feel pretty safe ahead by 2 goals with 40 seconds, but with the way ECC is just, scrapping away near the end of this game, Canisius cannot let their guard down, and there's that timeout you talked about, Aaron.
As suggested, ECC getting the timeout called with a little bit more than 40 seconds remaining, certainly wanting to get the group that's out there right now that extra bit of rest as they are ready to go for this last push. I'm sure they will try to get something drawn up here for the face-off play coming out of the timeout. But while we have a moment, just a reminder that our broadcast is being brought to you tonight by Pups Styled by Jesse, one-on-one grooming services that will have your dog looking forward to its next visit. Voted a Best of 716 pet groomer for 2022 and 2023. Pups Styled by Jesse on Main Street in Clarence, just east of Transit Road. Our broadcast also brought to you by 412 Communications, the new gold standard in digital media solutions. If modern media seems like everyone shouting for attention and no one hearing a thing, well, 412 Communications helps you get your voice above the fray. With a myriad of solutions to build bridges between your brand and its clientele, from broadcast to social, print to digital, the 412 team will put their 40-plus years of experience to work for you. Visit 412communications.com today for more information. And by Envious Gameware, designers of custom hockey uniforms, bags, and apparel. Visit enviousgameware.com to get your team a look to be envious of. Timeout is over with. The exact same players stay out there for ECC. It's going to be Bajer, Smith, Shea, Baker, Mangoni, and Duma. And as you said, Duma's been on the ice for maybe about the last 5 minutes. I might be exaggerating, but it's been a long time.
Certainly.
Puck is down. Let's see which team can gain possession off the draw. It's going to be ECC, and Smith's shot barely gets deflected wide. ECC trying to keep it in, and they do so. Bajer making the play to keep it in the zone. 27 seconds now remaining. Back to the point to Baker. Baker down low to Duma, but he can't handle the pass. Baumgartner now trying to pin it to the boards to kill off time. Gets some help by Flaherty. Baumgartner gets knocked down as Smith has it behind the goal line. Can't get a pass out in front. Canisius doing a good job of clogging that lane. Bajer dives to try to keep the puck in the zone. Shea has to go back into his own zone to pick it up. Banks a pass behind the net as the last 2 seconds will tick away on a Canisius University victory. It's a 6-4 win as Canisius and ECC renew their Halloween game, and it's a win in his first start for the Canisius Golden Griffins for Brendan D, and certainly a lot of credit goes to him for this victory. Gave up 4 goals in the win, but made a lot of stops, especially early in the game when his team really, really needed him.
Yeah, Deed, more than anything, I think, set the tone for this game for Canisius, that when ECC came out strong, Canisius did not fold. They ended up answering, and they answered every single time every time ECC looked like they were going to make a charge. Canisius was there to shut the door on it, and really, as we said so many times tonight, just making the most of every opportunity that they had. Maybe didn't outplay ECC at every point tonight, but they were, I think, more prepared to do what it took to close the door.
It's a 6-4 victory, and a lot of the work being done by the top line of the Canisius Golden Griffins. 2 goals each scored by number 17, August Trifolo, as well as number 12, Connor Koluzny. Their line was a driving force in this game. It seemed like every time they were on the ice, especially in the middle part of the game, it seemed like their line won the shift.
Yeah, absolutely. For a while there, when this game was kind of up in the air, a 2-goal lead for Canisius that didn't feel very safe, and it never was safe. That line for Canisius stabilized them and kept ECC at bay. And then, late in the game when ECC made a charge, again, those top liners were the ones that scored the goals to re-expand the lead and eventually carry them to victory.
Busy stretch here on the Nichols City Hockey Network. Certainly enjoy the opportunity to have a midweek college hockey game here between Canisius and ECC as these two schools bring back the traditional Halloween game. We were calling it the Pumpkin Cup beforehand. I don't know if that's actually gonna take hold. I think you need to have a trophy that's actually made with a glass or a silver pumpkin on top. If we would have had that to have as a side picture during the broadcast, then maybe we could call it the Pumpkin Cup. But we'll have to see if that name will pick up any traction. But it's a big win for Canisius here. Only their 3rd game of the season. certainly a momentum building type of win. They hadn't played in 10 days, but they come in and they basically take a pretty hard punch in the first 5 minutes, but they withstand it, and they win a really spirited game and a victory that the Canisius side should certainly be pleased with.
A spirited game. I like what you did there here on Halloween. You could call this win a treat for Canisius, picking up their second win in just 3 games. And, yeah, I mean, a momentum builder is what you need at this point in the season. And on the other side for ECC, a weekend where they had a ton of positives, 2 straight wins coming into this evening. Didn't get it done, but I thought they still played very solid game, and just all the way around, I'd call this a success here on Halloween.
Certainly glad to not only be invited to bring this game to you folks here today, but certainly was an entertaining game, and certainly one that lived up to it here from the hockey perspective. Appreciate you joining us here on the Nichols City Hockey Network. A busy stretch on our broadcast schedule with this midweek game following 3 games this past weekend, and we'll have 3 more games coming up this coming weekend. We'll have Fredonia hosting Buffalo State Friday afternoon at 4:30. On Saturday morning at 11 a.m. is our first Hashix Heroes broadcast. It's an exciting new partnership between the Nichols City Hockey Network and Hashix Heroes. We'll be live streaming 10 U games this season. First one of those coming up Saturday at 11 a.m. And then Saturday night, it is Cornell and Buffalo State, our nightcap. So a busy week here in the Nichols City Hockey Network. Thank you for taking some time and joining us for this broadcast. Certainly appreciate you making a little bit of time on your Halloween to join us for what was a very entertaining hockey game between Canisius and ECC. Our final score, it is Canisius 6 and ECC 4. You've been watching live coverage of AAU college hockey on the Nichols City Hockey Network, Western New York's new home for amateur hockey. Have a great evening, everyone. For Ryan Tantolo, our color analyst here tonight, camera operator Jeff Jazarowski, my name's Aaron Elpern. Enjoy the rest of your holiday and have a great week. We'll talk to you soon.